What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. Tottenham 3, Hoffenheim 0 in front of 54,000 people at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Mikey Moore with 2 goals and Richarlison with a goal. And yeah, look, fantastic finishes from Mikey Moore for the goals. Matisse Tell, the creator of both of them, with Andy Robertson laying one on for Richarlison. I think we saw some good moments, some bad moments, but ultimately we've won the game 3-0, kept a clean sheet. I do think the 3-0 scoreline puts a little bit of gloss on maybe what the performance was, but the reality is this is what the scoreline was. We managed to put the ball in the back of the net more times than we have done over the course of the pre-season so far. But look, let's get into it, because in terms of the first half, we started off with a lot of energy, high pressing, really good combinations and patterns of play, creating chances, and then it kind of went blunt for a little bit, and we looked really easy to attack on, and Hoffenheim were just finding all sorts of spaces, and they could have got their own goals. But I guess let's start off with the good of what we saw from Tottenham, because I think as the pre-season has progressed, you're really starting to see more patterns of play, crisper passing, even chances on goal. I mean, clear-cut chances were hard to come by, but you could see, maybe envisage how chances can be created in the system and the play that we're playing. Yeah, I think definitely the energy, the passing was really crisp and sharp in the early exchanges, and I think we were picking up the ball in really good areas. I think the pressing, we were suffocating them, and I think Hoffenheim were struggling to keep up with the pace of the game in the early exchanges. And I think, I think early on it was really exciting. It was really good, but once the game settled down a bit, I think what Hoffenheim came into the game, and what I didn't like, it happened in the second half as well, is when we're in this mode where we're basically dropping off a bit, we're not pressing as high, and we're looking to maybe just be organised and contain in a block. Hoffenheim, I think, found it way too easy to first of all beat any press that we had, and also to find pockets of space in and around the penalty box, and even get into our penalty box. And yes, they didn't create too many clear-cut opportunities, but they were getting too much encouragement. They were getting way too much space in and around our penalty box, and that is something Zerbi's got to work out, because I think the midfield, they just weren't screening anywhere near for the defence. I think defence did all right, but I think the midfield were getting caught out way too much. But I think we did regain control later in the half, and obviously we got the goal. Really well worked team goal. Tonali spinning his man out wide to Robbo, brilliant delivery, and Richarlison was put on a sixpence by Robbo, and a really good finish on his left foot as well. And we did have a few chances where Mikey Moore nearly found him at the back post. Robbo as well had a cross which nearly found Richarlison. So you couldn't, that goal was potentially coming from him. Eventually we were going to find him. And then I think in the latter stages of that half, Kinski had to make a save. There was a header that went just wide. So it was definitely kind of toing and froing in terms of who had control of that game. But I would say when it was good, it was really exciting. It was energetic. But I felt like off the ball, we have a bit of an issue. Yeah, and I would say watching that game, even though we won 3-0, it doesn't suggest that we're ready for the start of the Premier League campaign, does it? Not completely, yeah. Because, those moments that you speak about against better opposition, particularly in the Premier League, you look at Brentford today, they won 7-0 against Eintracht Frankfurt. Against better opposition, those flaws are going to get exposed a lot more regularly than they did today. And they did get exposed today, but just Hoffenheim weren't able to fully expose them and take advantage of it. If we do that against Brentford, if we do that against Newcastle the week after, they will score goals, and that is what worries me. But I do think we look a lot better going forward than we did pretty much the whole of last season and other games in pre-season. Mikey Moore was a demon down that right-hand side in the first half of the first half. They didn't know how to handle him. He was beating his men. He was getting good balls in the box. I really liked what I saw from Mikey Moore, and if this is the last game that we're going to see from him until next season, he's signed off in style, hasn't he? Yeah, he bowed out in a brilliant way. Really good performance. I think if he was trying to lay down a bit of a marker or a statement compared to his performance against Getafe, where a lot of people saying, it proves he's not good enough right now, well, this performance proved otherwise, because I thought he was absolutely fantastic, playing in a position not completely natural to him as well, and I thought he did a phenomenal job. I thought he gave their fullback such a tough time.
time, and also he had quality at the end of his moves as well. And he does seem a bit stronger to me than he did last time I saw him. He seems a bit stronger, so he was able to hold off his markers quite a bit. I was really happy with him, and obviously got 2 really good goals, 2 really good runs in the box, and we know he's a talent. He's a really good talent, and today was just more evidence of that. It was really brilliant to see.
Yeah, and this is the opposition that he's going to be coming up against next season. So if this is a role reversal, audition for his loan move to Cologne, I think he passed with flying colours, didn't he? Because against the German side in the Bundesliga, a team that we've faced in European competition before, so one of the better teams in Germany. Fantastic display from him. With Mathys Tel, it was like a bit different because he was kind of anonymous in the first half, coming up with a couple of moments, but it was in the second half where he really came alive. And maybe, in the second half, we came out really sluggish, and Hoffenheim made a host of changes, and you could see the renewed sense of energy from the Hoffenheim side and Tottenham. I mean, we couldn't get the ball out of our own half for 10-15 minutes at the start of that second half, and then Mathys Tel after that just came alive. It all started off with a lovely ball between the lines for Richarlison, and then moments later he is just dancing through their penalty area, putting in a lovely ball for Mikey Moore, and we go 2-0 up. And what you say is like kind of against the run of play when we scored that second goal. But Mathys Tel, I thought Mathys Tel's performance in the second half was better than Mikey Moore's performance in the first half.
I think he probably still was the man of the match for that performance in the second half, because I thought he was absolutely fantastic. I thought, as you say, in the first half, I think we were attempting to keep the ball and be this possession-based side. It felt like in the second half we were just counter-attacking and just playing on the last line, waiting for an interception or mistakes, and then counter-attacking on that Hoffenheim backline. And our biggest threat was definitely Mathys Tel. As the game was waning, as players were getting tired, he was the one who was still keeping up those energy levels. And obviously both assists were absolutely phenomenal. The first one, he takes on 2 defenders round the outside, both of them not being able to keep up with him, and a brilliant ball across the face of goal on his weaker foot as well, to the Mikey Moore onrushing at the back post. The second one, he was just, you can see he was in a Zen mode at this point, like he feeling unstoppable. You could just sense it coming out of him. And there was a moment just before that where he cuts inside 2 defenders, has a shot which was a block saved by the keeper, but that, I think he literally picked the ball up by that point from the halfway line and just ran at that back line. And then he picked up the ball again late in the game. Everyone all shouting, take him on, go for it, you're feeling unstoppable. He does this brilliant trick, moving the ball from his quick feet, moving the ball from his right foot to his left, quick pass into Mikey Moore, takes one touch and finishes into the back post. Brilliant move from Mathys Tel. Just that little bit of quality at the end of his moves as well. And I honestly think this guy has it in him to add that quality. And he's showing more dribbling ability today as well. He's had a phenomenal pre-season. He's really being a shining light in our attack. And I think today he showed De Zerbi, as much as he wants new attackers, he can be one of his options next season.
Yeah, and it's nice to see, because obviously we've bemoaned the fact of quality in the forward line. So it's really nice to see 2 players in the forward line have the games that they did, because Mikey Moore and Mathys Tel, obviously Mikey Moore probably not going to be here for the coming season, but Mathys Tel, one of the shining lights of pre-season, and he's probably going to have to start the season because we know, the deals of Savinho and Gakpo, who knows what's going to happen with them. Are they going to be here in time for Brentford? So we need players in that forward line to start the season on fire for us and hit the ground running. And Mathys Tel looks like he's best placed to do that. And Richarlison, whatever you want to say about Richarlison, scored 3 goals in pre-season so far. Another goal today. Really nice finish. Probably his best finish of pre-season today. So, yeah, look, Richarlison's probably going to start the season as well. And he's started pre-season, hopefully as he means to go on, by getting the goals. He was our top goal scorer last season. And if we're not going to sign a number 9 or whatever, he's going to start this pre-season as number 9, and we need him in firing form and putting the ball in the back of the net. So credit to Richarlison as well.
Yeah, I thought he was in general looking a bit sharper today than we have seen him in definitely previous seasons, but and probably in other games in pre-season as well. I thought he was holding up the ball a bit better. I thought he was physically competing a bit better. Nearly got on the end of a couple crosses as well in the first half. Could have had a goal before he scored, and it was a confident finish when he did take it. It wasn't an easy one, bobbling ball into the penalty area. He has to sweep it in first time, and I thought he did brilliantly. So good finish from him. And he doesn't look like he's going anywhere, does he? By the way, you know, by his body language.
Nah, it doesn't look like he's going anywhere. I don't think he is going anywhere. We'll have to remains to be seen what's happening with Dom Solanke. We'll see what happens tomorrow if he plays or not. But Richarlison, for me, is the starting number 9 going into the season at this moment in time. First look at Marcos Senesi today, alongside Jan-Paul van Hecke, which most likely is going to be the starting centre-back duo going into that Brentford game. What did you make out of Senesi?
Yeah, I liked what I saw. I thought his passing was incisive. I thought defensively he was pretty decent. I actually thought out of him and Van Hecke was getting caught out more than he was. I thought he was actually pretty solid. He did get beaten in the air once for like a moment in the first half, but other than that, I thought he was pretty solid. There was no really lack of pace or anything exposed or anything like that. Obviously, him and Robbo were down that side. I do think maybe against better opposition, he'll be asked different tests. But I think, I think he did really well. And I think it was a really good debut. And I think him and Van Hecke could potentially form a pretty decent partnership, I imagine, at a given time.
I think in the early stages, you know, he saw a lot of the ball and he was making quick, incisive decisions straight away. Play that ball into midfield, play that ball forward, and usually it was absolutely spot on and bang on the money. So I was really happy with Marcos Senesi, and I thought he built up a decent relationship as well quite early on with Van Hecke. Both of them just so comfortable on the ball, and it's so great to see. With Archie Gray and Robertson, obviously Archie Gray captaining the side. Robertson on the left-hand side, I thought was, you know, a really strong attacking outlet in the first half. In the second half, I thought he was just getting beaten a bit too easily. You know, there was a number of times, 2, 3, maybe even 4 times, where Hoffenheim players were just easily breezing past him, which is a big concern for me. Look, we know what Robertson is going to bring for us on the offensive side of the game. It's the defensive side of things that do worry me with Andy Robertson, because we know his age, we know... you know, there's only one way for Robertson here, and that is downhill, unfortunately. So in terms of his defensive side of his game, this pre-season, so far, it's not been great.
I think the problem with Robertson is what we're seeing is what I kind of feared, which was he is a player who's still playing with the aggression as if he still has peak physicality. And the reality is he doesn't, like, not anymore. And it doesn't seem like he's adjusted just yet, like completely to his drop off in physicality. Now, not to say that he's completely done physically, like he still has some physical capabilities, his ability to get to the byline, help out his forward and stuff. But definitely, he's like still trying to go at 100 miles an hour. When the reality is, I don't think his body will allow that anymore. He's got to kind of pick and choose when he should be more aggressive, when he should step off, and those kind of stuff. And I think today, definitely in the second half, there was a few moments he's been trying to be super aggressive. He's trying to press. He's trying to beat the opposition player to the ball, and he's coming off second best, and they're the ones getting there first. And that's something he's got to cut out, because if you've got tricky Premier League wingers coming up against you and you're doing that, then you're going to be in trouble and you're going to put the back line under pressure. Today we kind of got away with it, and obviously his final ball was on full display today, and that's something that you don't lose just with the lack of physicality. He's always going to have that, and when he gets in those positions and is able to whip the ball in, there's no one better really in that position probably in the Premier League as a left back than him. So, and he showed that today with another quality assist. But it's the other side, and maybe it's obviously still, you know, in pre-season, is he at peak fitness yet? There's all those different things. Obviously, with the season only a week away, he was at the World Cup, remember, as well. So maybe it might take him a few more weeks to get to peak fitness. I'm still hopeful. Maybe he's got another level to go there, but it was a bit concerning. So, and I think Gray as well, especially in that second half, did struggle a bit in his one-on-ones, I have to say.
Yeah, I agree with that. So something to watch out for Roberts. But the thing is with Gray, we know that he's not first choice there, and Pedro Porro is going to come back in and he's going to play the majority of games. With Andy Robertson, that's not the case, because who knows what's going on with Destiny Udogie. Apparently, Ali Gold said if he doesn't play this weekend, who knows when we're going to see him, pretty much. So at this moment in time, Robertson's the only guy we've got to rely on at left back. Jed Spencer's gone now. Udogie, we have no news of when we're going to see him.
I mean, he could play Van de Ven there.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know when Van de Ven's going to be back either. So, yeah, the Robertson thing does concern me.
But it won't be long. Like, it is a concern. from what I'm seeing, I'm not saying he's been bad. Like I'm not watching him thinking, "Wow, he's putting in stinkers." That's not the case.
Well,
He's
against
got
Chelsea,
good.
it was a stinker.
Yeah, Chelsea wasn't great, but the other game was all right when he came on against, what was it, Sydney or whatever. And then today, bit of a mixed bag. I don't think it was all bad, but when he was good, it was like top quality. But when it was bad, it wasn't horrendous, but he was just getting caught out a bit. Like he wasn't leaving us too exposed. I think we adjusted for it okay. Maybe against better opposition, you got to be worried about it though.
Yeah. I think when Robertson plays at left back, you want a Mickey van de Ven at left centre back because you need that pace, that recovery pace, to cover for Andy Robertson a bit more. With Senesi there, I think he'll get exposed a bit more, won't he?
Yeah, it's going to be easier for oppositions to get us because they both lack that little bit of pace. So, yeah, I think it probably makes a bit more sense to pair him with Van de Ven. I definitely agree with that. I would say structurally there was some issues for me in that second half especially, but even in the first half, and I think it comes down to that midfield. And I don't know whether it's Bergval's fault, whether it's Bergval paired with Tonali, whether if we put Fernandes or Bentancur there it would be different, or whether it's just a structural thing which De Zerbi has to work on. But consistently, and I even as I was pointing it out in the watch along, it actually happened. Like consistently, when we were not pressing, when we were standing off the opposition, they were given time and space on the ball. They were able to consistently, time and time again, find pockets of space very easily behind our midfield in front of the back line. And it was happening
in the first half as well.
Yeah, but it did happen in the first half, but I feel like it happened a lot more even in the second half, where they were just doing it. It was like we knew what they were going to do. They knew exactly what to target. It was like we couldn't stop them. And it's like, what is that? I think in the first half, what was happening was Bergval was getting caught wrong side of his man, and they were able to run off the back of him, and he just kept missing the ball. And so that's an individual thing. But I think second half it seemed more structural. It just seemed Tonali was getting caught out. It wasn't as if they were shrugging off our midfielders. They were just picking up. They were moving away from our midfielders and just picking up these pockets of space. And all of a sudden they were just causing havoc. All of a sudden our midfielders had to jump out of the organised block, and then it was causing a domino effect. And then all of a sudden they were picking up the ball in the box, and they were creating chances, and Kinski had to make a few saves, and that was happening time and time again in that second half. And that is something De Zerbi has to look at and work out why they were able to consistently find those pockets of spaces. I don't know whether it was Bergval not being aware of where his man was, and maybe that was causing problems, or is it a structural thing? That's something we have to analyse. But there was a clear problem with oppositions very easily being able to pass through our midfield.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And it was like night and day, wasn't it, when you compare our kind of on the ball stuff with the off the ball stuff? Because just like you said, just so much space for Hoffenheim to work with, and Lucas Bergval, he was a prime example of it, because when he was on the ball, I thought he was really good, driving into the midfield, creating attacking solutions, creating attacking options, working well with his teammates. But then off the ball, he just kept getting caught out consistently, and a few times lack of awareness.
And I think that's always been his problem ever since he's come here. And that's something he hasn't really worked on. Obviously, he's a guy with boundless amounts of energy. He's a guy who has no lack of work rate, will, desire. So he will put in the challenges. When he gets close to his man, he will put his foot in. So it's not like it's something that's obvious when you're looking at him like he's not a hard worker or so. He's not like an Ndombele where he's just not running. Like he's full of passion. He's full of energy. But I think he needs to channel it in the right ways. I think it's been a problem ever since, even when he first came under Ange, and I think it's still a problem now. I think this is why maybe he's not as trusted as these other players, because I think he maybe lacks discipline when it comes to sticking to positions, tracking his men, knowing when to follow the midfielder and when not to. When he's on the ball, he is phenomenal. He's so press resistant. He glides past. He's like an ice skater. He glides past his midfielder, his opposition midfielder, like he's not even there sometimes. The way he attacks a space is a joy to watch, and you can understand the potential there. And look, he is still only 20 years of age. So not many midfielders are that aware and the full package at that age. It's not common. So this isn't like a major criticism, but you can understand right now where he's lagging behind the other midfielders. And it's not because he's worse footballer. It's more just those other things, those tactical awarenesses, and that it's just a little bit of maturity, and that comes with time. And I'm sure when Bergvall manages to work all of that out, he is going to be a top midfielder. But that's the main thing that's holding him back. And I also think on the ball a bit, he's an amazing carrier, and obviously he's got great quality. But I feel like when it's his passing game can still be a bit loose. It's not as like clean as Tonali's and stuff like that. And he's amazing at taking the ball on the half turn, absolutely brilliant, driving into that space. But when it comes to those quick passes and stuff, it's still a bit loose. It's not as bad as Gallagher's, which we'll get on to. I think his one's even worse. But I think Bergvall still needs a bit of work from, like, when we're popping it around, I think Bergvall's not as clean as the other guys.
I mean, Conor Gallagher has the opposite issue, really, because off the ball, he's absolutely fantastic. You know, he's one of the best players off the ball that we got. But he's just not a 10 in the way that we're trying to play football. Like, maybe if, you know, when we try and win the ball back high up the pitch, it's him more times than not doing that. And we can create chances doing that. But that's not what our whole ethos and play is going to be about. We are going to be a possession-based team, as we've been seeing all pre-season. And when we get in the ball in those dangerous areas, Conor Gallagher is not that player to pick out that pass. I don't think that's ever been his game.
And the problem is, in those moments where we've talked about us popping it around, those quick one-touch little flicks and everyone's on the same wavelength, I do feel like more often than not, when it goes to Gallagher, it breaks down. And it's not that he's giving it away, it's just the pass isn't right into the player's path, or it's not as clean, and maybe it's a bit bobbling or something like that. And it's maybe, again, it's something you have to take notice of. It's not like completely obvious, because, you know, when you're watching the game, you just see him pull off a pass, he's not giving it away. But when you're seeing everyone pop it around, it's right into the path of the opposition, ready to take it into your colleague, ready to take it in stride, ready for the next movement. Everyone knows what they're doing. When it gets to Gallagher, it's just not right, and it slows the move down a lot of the time. It kills the move, and it allows the oppositions to get back in position and stuff like that.
What I would say is, though, like, obviously Conor Gallagher is not our first choice 10. Lucas Bergvall's not our first choice number 8 either. So when you get a Mateus Fernandes instead of Lucas Bergvall, when you get a James Maddison instead of Conor Gallagher, then it's going to look a whole lot different and a whole lot better.
We have to see it, but we hope so. We haven't. It's not like my point is, it's not like we've seen them play together and it's like been amazing.
I know that, but
in
I'm
theory,
yes, about the quality of player, and you know, we know what James Maddison's like on the ball. We've seen Mateus Fernandes, what he's like in the last couple of seasons for West Ham. So I'm pretty confident that if you get a James Maddison in the 10 and you get a Mateus Fernandes alongside Sandro Tonali, it will look a lot better.
Yeah, 100%. But they're part of the squad, so they need to get up to speed, or we're going to have to improve them. And again, it's only pre-season. But definitely when it comes to Bergvall, I've got less of an issue with it because he's young, and I think the things he needs to improve on just comes with time and awareness and stuff. Obviously, there's people like Gray who just have that, you know, already, and that's brilliant from his point of view. But Bergvall still needs to learn that side of the game. Gallagher, he's not really going to improve, is he? Let's be honest. What we're seeing is what we're going to get. I don't think Gallagher's going to turn into some supreme clean passer, you know, just given time. I think we signed Gallagher because he's ready-made, and that's the player he is.
I don't know what position he is, though. Like, cause I don't think he's good enough on the ball to play deeper either. Like, his main attribute and characteristic is pressing. So in terms of where he's most effective for the team, it probably is in the number 10. But I just don't like him there.
Maybe
like where is his best position in this team?
Probably
it's got to be a 10.
In this team, in 10, I would say his best position overall would be in a 4-3-3 as a number 8. That's probably where you want him, like ideally.
Like, for us, he's not good enough to play deeper, in my opinion, on the ball.
No, I don't think he is either, to be honest. And I think, so I think it's an issue, and I think him in the 10 today, what did he really provide on the ball? Just nothing. I don't remember any shot, chance created, or anything like that.
He will get goals for us over the course of the season, and he will get assists for us because his sheer work rate and pressing from the front will result in chances. I
understand that, yeah.
But in terms of just general gameplay, he's going to frustrate us a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
A hell of a lot. But look, We've won 3-0 today. I know there's a whole lot of complaining, but we have won 3-0 and some good preparation for the game next week. We'll see what happens and the lineup tomorrow. We'll do a bit of a predicted lineup a bit later on in the stream. But yeah, look, all in all, I thought it was a good run out from the lads. Great to see Mikey Moore on the score sheet twice.
Yeah.
Matty's Tell coming into his own in the second half, and I thought we didn't mention, but Sandro Tonali having a pretty decent game as well.
Yeah, I don't think it was his best, but he was pretty good, I think, overall. I thought, again, second half he was getting caught out too much for my liking, but I think on the ball, obviously we had a really big involvement in the first goal, and I think it was looking good. I think there was a couple of moments he played a bit too safe when he could have strode forward, but when he did take his moments to stride forward, I thought he looked really good. So I'm liking Tonali. I think he improves our midfield. I think, look, we are improving. I just think the only thing I would say is when I'm watching us, there's been so much excitement about the team, the signings, all that kind of stuff, and obviously we're still complaining about the attacking signings, and hopefully they come. My only point I would say is from what I'm seeing in this team right now, we're moving in the right direction, but I think it might take longer than people anticipate to really get there. I obviously want us to be straight there from game week 1, but I don't think we will be. I think it's going to take some time.
But also what's positive as well is that De Zerbi showed us last season in the last 7 games that he's able to get results without the team being in full flow and full motion. And De Zerbi will know full well he's integrating a lot of players.
Yep.
The patterns of play aren't completely there. That we're nowhere near where he wants us to be. So I'm still confident that we can pick up results.
Also, now pre-season's drawing to a close, I just want to mention I don't really like how we've done our pre-season. I don't like that we went to Australia, New Zealand and played those teams. Like, I'm looking at how Arsenal, Chelsea, United, Liverpool, who they've all been playing, and all of their opposition to be much higher quality than us consistently. And they've been I know we played Chelsea, but that's one game. They've been testing themselves against much better opposition to know their true level, know where they're really at going into the season. And for us, we've been playing, I mean, not to say Hoffenheim specifically,
it's
but
not even about the opposition, because the players on the pitch have barely even been first team players anyway.
And that too, that's also been a problem. But still, I think we could have done better with our pre-season planning. I want to see going into next pre-season that we try get some better opposition to face.
Yeah. But look, let us know your thoughts on the game in the comments section below. Are we right to have a few concerns going into the new season, even after a 3-0 win for Tottenham today? Mikey Moore, like I said, getting 2 goals, and Richarlison getting another goal, which makes it 3 goals in pre-season. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. We are going to bring some fans on to speak to us, and we've also got predicted lineup and Tottenham update to get through. But let's start off with the Tottenham update, and first and foremost, we've got some completed deals to talk about. First up is Ashley Phillips. He has completed his deal to Middlesbrough. And by the way, Will Lancashire getting 2 goals in a 2-1 win for Middlesbrough today, which makes it 3 goals in 2 games for him. Fantastic start to life. We probably should have charged him a bit more, to be fair. But Spurs have reached an agreement with Middlesbrough for the transfer of Ashley Phillips. Spurs wish him all the best. George Sessions says it is a £20 million package, 7 million plus 13 million add-ons, and a 20% sell-on fee and matching rights as well.
So nothing changed in the price, it seems. I think Tom Barkley also confirmed that as well. So brilliant deal for Tottenham. Another significant fee for a player that's never played a minute for the first team in a competitive game. So it just keeps those sales ticking over. We keep getting money through the door. And good luck to him. And look, if he turns out to be someone good, just like the other players, we have all these other clauses. So you never know. Maybe we'll be back at Tottenham one day, but I think it's a good sale for us.
Another confirmed deal is Cuti Romero. He has officially joined Atletico Madrid now. Spurs say we have reached a full agreement with Atletico Madrid for the transfer of Christian Romero. Wishing you all the best, Cuti, a warrior on the pitch, a key part of our Europa League triumph, and a captain for the 25-26 campaign. Good luck for your next chapter, Cuti. And he took to social media as well to give a goodbye message to the fans. And it's quite a long one as well. So he says, Today, I say goodbye to a place that for 5 seasons was much more than a club. It was my home, my challenge, and the place where my family and I built such an important part of our lives. I leave with a heart of full memories and enormous pride for everything we lived and achieved together. When I arrived, I had a clear dream to leave my name in the club's history. I knew the only way was through hard work, sacrifice, and achieving something we had seemed so difficult for so long, lifting a trophy again, and we did it. The journey wasn't perfect, but I don't want to define my goodbye. I choose to remember the happy moments, the lessons, the people who stood by me, and above all, the love I received during these 5 years. Thank you to everyone at the club who shared this journey with me, coaches, teammates, staff, and every person working behind the scenes. You are all part of my story and have a place in my heart. Also to the fans, thank you for loving me, respecting me, and making me feel like one of yours from day one. Thank you for every hug, every song, every flag, every applause, and for always being there. I know I wasn't perfect, but one thing gives me peace. I always gave everything. I defended this shirt with pride and with all my heart. Thank you for everything. I'm leaving the club, but part of my heart will always remain here. Once I was one of you, today I leave as one of you forever. With all my love and respect, thank you and everything, and goodbye, Spurs.
That's a lovely message.
And in his video, he says, once a Spur, always a Spur. I wonder if he would have put all this out if he joined Arsenal.
Look, who knows how true the Arsenal stuff is? There's all these rumours flying around. It might be true, it might not be. We'll never truly know 100%. I think for me, you can't rewrite history. He was a massive part of us breaking our trophy drought. Yes, it turned sour near the end, and once he was given that captaincy and whatever, even though there were points where he was one of the ones stepping up for us last season, and then all the statements and then things near the end really did turn a bit sour with how he ended the last game of the season and all of a sudden his push to leave and stuff like that. So it was bad in the end. He'll have a complicated legacy at Tottenham about how people remember him, but look, it's water under the bridge. He's now gone. He goes on to a different club. He'll always have that Europa League. He'll always have those good moments. So wish him all the best.
Yeah, look, like you said, very key to us winning that Europa League, and I think all the other stuff is the other stuff. He wasn't the only one letting us down last season. He was part of a bigger group, and he was part of it. He was the captain of it, and he should have held himself to a higher standard. That's 100%. But when we look back on it in 10, 15, 20 years, the only thing that we're going to remember is that Europa League win, and that's all that matters.
2 years' time, we draw Atletico in the Champions League. He comes back to Tottenham Stadium. What kind of reception do you think he gets?
I think he'll get a mixed reception.
You think so? You think there'll be people booing him?
I think maybe a couple. But I think the majority will clap him.
Yeah, I think he'll get a majority good reception.
Another done deal is Jed Spence, as Jed Spence has also taken to social media to say goodbye to the Spurs fans. A bit of a shorter message from Jed Spence. He says, a special chapter comes to an end. It's been some journey with plenty of memories, moments and experiences that I'll carry with me forever, especially that night in Bilbao. Thanks to all the staff members who've helped me along the way, the players who've become family, and most importantly, thank you to the fans. Time for a new chapter now, but Spurs will always have a place in my heart. Come on, you Spurs. So a nice, short and simple, but effective message from Jed Spence.
Yeah, nice. It's definitely been a rocky road with Spence as well. There were times where we couldn't even give him away, and now all of a sudden he's playing at World Cups and going off to Inter Milan. So it's been a hell of a journey with Jed Spence and Tottenham. It's amazing how he's kind of rebuilt his career when it all seemed to be falling apart at one stage. You had Daniel Farke calling him out when he was on loan at Leeds, saying he doesn't have the right attitude, sending him back. Neil Warnock, before Spurs. He's always had a lot of problems, but fair play to him. I don't know whether there was a penny dropped or whatever it was, but he knuckled down, he put the work in, he earned his place in the squad, he earned his place in the team, and he did so well. He got all the way to starting fullback in a World Cup semi-final, all within the space of 18 months. It's an incredible rise, and Inter Milan have one hell of a fullback coming their way. as we've always said, it's sad we're only getting the fee that we're getting, and it's also sad that we're letting go of a good player. I think a lot of us would like him to stay. So wish him all the best. But yeah, the fees are really totting up, as we've said. I think these two fees are probably two fees we'll be disappointed with. But as an overall thing, as we've said, like we're getting nearly 200 million now. If we include all the add-ons and everything, it's crazy. So hopefully we're going to get some incomings over this next week.
Yeah, look, I wish Jed Spence all the best. I really do. He leaves, and unfortunately, it weakens us. That's just the reality of the situation. We've got a poor fee for the sale of Jed Spence, and it weakens us in a position as well. So we'll see if we strengthen it or not. But unfortunately, that is the case of it right now. But Jed Spence, I think he gets a better ovation coming back than what Cuti Romero will do. So I think a lot of people are upset that Jed Spence is leaving right now, and I can see why, because we had it sorted. Like the left back was sorted with Robertson and Udogie, the right back was sorted with Spence and Porro, and now we've got some more work to do. So Jed Spence leaves with his head held high, and he leaves with a lot of Spurs fans having a lot of good words to say about him, which I think Romero's a bit different to that. I think Romero's leaving under different conditions. I think a lot of people have a bit of a sour taste in their mouth regarding Romero.
Look, I think rightly so with how it ended, and that's kind of going to be the lasting memory for a lot of fans. I think you can't rewrite all of the history of his whole time at Tottenham, but for sure there will be some fans with the way it ended, that's how they'll remember him, and that's it.
In terms of the right-back situation, though, Spurs journal is saying, despite interest in some options, Tottenham are unlikely to aggressively pursue a replacement in the wake of Jed Spence's exit this summer. Archie Gray is trusted to provide cover at right-back if needed. So
he doesn't say we're not going to go for anyone. Just says unlikely to aggressively pursue. I don't know what that means. Does that mean we'll put in a bid if it gets rejected? All right, fine, we'll just turn away. But I hope that's not true.
I do find it highly unlikely that we're going to get so many players in the next 2 weeks. Like, we've got 2 weeks, and in an ideal world, we want to see like 4 or 5 players come in. You know what I mean? We want to see a number 10, we want to see a right back, we want to see 2 wingers, and we want to see a number 9. That's not going to happen. I think it's just going to be these 2 wingers, and that's it. I don't think we're going to see anyone else come in.
I hope you're wrong, but I think I'm leaning towards the probability that Solanke and Richarlison are probably still going to be here next season. And if that's the case, I can't see us signing a striker, which is disappointing, but also I kind of get it. Like, in a sense that the striker market is really bleak at the moment, and could you back if they back themselves to keep Solanke and Richarlison fit, is it worth investing however many million in a striker that might not be as good as what we already have? And so unless there's a striker that is definitely on the market who we can get, who is like guaranteed to be much better than the striker that we have, does it make sense? I think obviously, for me, we've spoken about this a lot. Like, we need strikers probably more reliable who we can keep fit, and I think that's the biggest issue. Not even necessarily the quality. It's more about, do we have strikers we can actually rely on to be in competition with each other and actually be on the pitch? Anyway, this is about Gray. Kind of sidetracked. I would want to replace Spence in an ideal world. I think maybe it's a case of, if we hold off on it until January, could you get away with it? And maybe in January, if it's clear it's a problem and Spence and Gray can't handle it, then you go for it. But maybe for now you just rely on Gray and see how it goes. Today was a bit of a worry. I don't think he was brilliant, but I think we have seen better performances than we have seen today from him in a right back. So I'm not going to go overboard about what I saw from him today. So I kind of also get that perspective. I think Gray can play at right back. I think we've seen him do a good job there. I think if we could get a Nico Williams or a Munoz, I think we should do it. That would be my perspective. But if that's not really on the table right now, or for whatever reason we're not actually wanting them, then could we maybe just go with Gray for now? And if it is a massive problem, maybe reassess it in January.
Yeah. Look, I think we do need to bring in a right back. Look, Gray's just not a right back for me. Like, he's a midfielder, and I think that's where he should be playing his football. I get it, you know, without bringing the right back, he sees a lot more game time and it might, you know, aid his development. But his development is best served playing in the middle of the park. So,
but it's not a priority, is it?
I mean, it's not a priority to bring in a right back.
Yeah, compared to the other ones.
Look, I wouldn't hamper the chances of, you know, strengthening the forward line in terms of to get a right back. I wouldn't, but
it's last in our priorities.
Yeah, but I think we should have planned this window a bit better, because like if we knew Spence was going to go, then you got to bring in a right back. So you can't just let Spence go with 2 weeks left of the window, being like, oh, Spence has gone, so there's no time to bring in a right back. They probably knew Spence was going for some time. You know, it's not new. Like Inter Milan weren't just interested yesterday. Like there's got to be some planning involved here, and it looks like the planning at right back just wasn't there, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think if you're planning on, as you said, this Spence deal's been in the works for a while. If you're planning on letting him go, and it seems as though for a while we've been open to letting him go, then we should have had something in place for when he leaves. Yeah, I think that's fair. Fair analysis.
Let's talk about the other side now with Destiny Udogie. Journalist called Nico Shearer says Udogie.
Nico
Shearer, yeah, has said that Destiny Udogie has opened the door to a move to Roma.
So that's not true then. Fantastic.
Which are preparing an official bid to submit to Tottenham to try and sign the left back. Whoever, I mean, surely this can't be true. Surely we can't be letting Destiny and Spence go before the end of the window.
Well, luckily it's Nico Shearer reporting it, luckily, so you're all right.
Alistair Gold also has said that if Destiny Udogie is not involved against Hoffenheim this weekend, then it could be some time before he returns to action. His return date is unknown.
But Paul O'Keefe claiming he is okay. And also, as ZY said, he isn't injured. We're just being ultra cautious with him, whatever that means.
I hope that's true, man.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, Ali Gold hasn't really given any info there. That's just like his opinion, I guess. We don't really know. So
it's a weird statement to make. Like, if he's not involved this weekend, then it might be some time before he's next involved. Like, I don't understand that. Like, why? Like, you could say that any weekend. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That doesn't make it doesn't make sense. That
like, why? Because if he's not involved for Hoffenheim, can't he involved for Brentford?
I don't think that makes sense. What he's saying. I guess he means like if he's not involved, then there's not really a clear date when he exactly will be back. And if he is involved, then maybe it gives an indication he's very.
Well, if he's involved, he's involved.
Exactly. So I don't think it makes much sense. But we know that Udogie's really struggled with injuries. We know. Udogie and injuries go hand in hand when you talk about him. That's just the reality, unfortunately, for Destiny. We also know he's a very good left back when he's fully fit. I think too often we've rushed him back, brought him back too early, put him under undue stress and caused injuries and stuff. But he hasn't played a game in pre-season. If you have to be that ultra cautious with a player who's supposedly not injured, and you can't even play him in a game in pre-season because you're worried that he's going to break down, that has got to be a worry, doesn't it? That has got to be a concern in itself, that you have to be that ultra cautious with someone. Because how is he expected to go through the rigors of the Premier League if he can't even manage 45 minutes in a pre-season without the risk of getting injured? So, yeah, that already is, even if what they're saying is true, and he isn't injured and they're just being cautious, that in itself is a bit of a concern. Yeah. But let's just hope. Look, he's still young, 23. Let's hope this is something he can get over. This is something he can work out. We've seen with Van der Ven, two seasons he was massively injury hit, and he got over it last season. He managed to find a way. Maybe it was something to do with his running style. He needed to fix or whatever. So let's hope Destiny also goes through that kind of process and figures out why it keeps happening, and let's see if he can fix it. But yeah, the whole thing is a concern.
Yeah. What's like concerning on top of that is what we were mentioning before about Andy Robertson and potentially Marcus Senesi playing together on that side. Like, because if Senesi's there, you do want Udogie at left back, and if Van der Ven's there at left centre back, who's not going to start the season probably, then it's fine to have Andy Robertson there to have cover. Have pace as cover for Andy Robertson's flaws. Like, we need Udogie. We're going to need to rely on him big time this season. Unless Sousa can do something, I don't know. But Sousa doesn't look like he's leaving at the end of the day. So maybe Sousa, they're planning to use Sousa. I don't know. But I'm going to assume that we're not. And I'm going to assume that we need to rely on Destiny big time. So let's hope that he can get fit.
I don't know about more than any other season.
Well, we rely on him big time every season.
Yeah, but I think we have now cover with Robertson. So I think the burden's less, I would say, on him.
The burden's less, but I think I am worried about the prospect of playing Robertson all these games, particularly if he's alongside Senesi in that game. And I think that the flaws of Robertson defensively are there and prevalent for all to see.
Yeah, but I'm less worried about it compared to what I think what you get out of him going forward, he is a player who's been in the Premier League for a long time. He knows the drill. He knows his own body. He'll work it out, Robertson. I'm not saying he should be playing every game. He shouldn't. He should be rotating with destiny, 100%. But I don't think it's more of an issue now we got Robertson than it was. I think it's good.
I think it is because we had Jed Spence at left back before that.
Yeah.
And Jed Spence
I think we're better off for it now.
Going forward, yes, but defensively, no, we're not. Jed Spence is a much better defender than Andy Robertson is now.
And the point is, well, hopefully we're going to be spending more time attacking than defending.
Yeah, that's true, but we've seen so far this pre-season, that you run at Andy Robertson in pace, he's not going to be able to defend it. And we've seen as well, how open we are at times. So we need good defenders there at the back, and Andy Robertson hasn't shown that he's a good defender yet for us.
Okay, but it's pre-season. And he's come back from the World Cup. He's maybe not at complete peak fitness. I think when he's at his best, he'll be fine. I'm not saying he's going to be perfect. I'm sure there'll be moments to get caught out. I'm sure there'll be games where he gets completely torn apart. That might happen. But I think by and large, the pros will outweigh the cons. I'm pretty comfortable with that.
I hope so. Well, remains to be seen, but we'll see how it progresses. But look, don't get me wrong. I don't dislike Andy Robertson. I like what he's brought us going forward, and I think it's levels apart of what Jed Spence brought us going forward. But I am just concerned about the defensive side of his game. Let's talk about Cody Gakpo. So with Cody Gakpo, Sim's favourite journalist Nico Shearer says that Cody Gakpo is one step away to Tottenham from Liverpool. The Dutch winger is the main target for Roberto De Zerbi. Already agreed personal terms for the contract until 2031. Tottenham are now working to reach and finalise the deal with Liverpool as soon as possible.
So he's at least 3 steps away then.
Team Talk says that Cody Gakpo has made it clear to Liverpool that he wants to leave the club and join Tottenham. And Florian Plettenberg said this yesterday, that Tottenham are in very concrete talks with Cody Gakpo and have already made contact with Liverpool. However, as a source close to the player currently denies that any agreement have been reached, a move to Spurs is nevertheless a serious option for Cody Gakpo.
Mm-hmm. It seems to be going in the right direction. I think if we can get him in time for Brentford, that would be fantastic. But yeah, it seems as though it's going to be difficult to do that. But it seems as though they're going for Barcola. They're moving for another winger, and that's going to open the door. So let's hope. I think all these talks over the last couple of days seems to formalise the interest and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, it seems as though there's all of a sudden come a real belief that it's going to get done soon, I think, within the club. That's what it sounds like.
And last but not least, let's talk about Victor Osimhen.
Oh, fantastic. Is it Nico Shearer again?
No, it's not. But it is Team Talk. And they say Arsenal and Tottenham have both held internal talks over a potential move of Victor Osimhen, who is keen on a switch to the Premier League. No formal bids or advanced negotiations have taken place, while Galatasaray would demand a substantial fee, and Osimhen's huge wage demands remain a major obstacle. So basically, there's nothing said in that update. But all this reporting I've heard about Arsenal going for Osimhen and it will take 60 million to get him. I mean, Florian Plettenberg literally said a few days ago that they've rejected over 100 million from Al Hilal for Victor Osimhen. So I don't know what everyone's talking about when they're linking him for 60 million.
Who knows? No one reliable's really said he's going to be going for 60 or 65 million. No one has said it's, apart from Plettenberg, no one's really said that they're going to be demanding 130 million. But yeah, I think it kind of makes sense in a way that because from the buying club's point of view, let's say if Osimhen is certain to leave or is really pushing to go, the buying club are probably going to have to pay big wages. They're not going to want to commit a massive transfer fee, and if Galatasaray want to get him out the door, they might have to accept 65 million to make Osimhen happy, kind of thing, to get rid of him. But yeah, I think from Galatasaray's point of view, it doesn't make sense to apart from that scenario. doesn't make sense for them to let him go for 65.
But the point is, apparently they have rejected over 100 million for him already this window. So if they're rejecting over 100 million, it seems very unlikely that they're going to accept anything under 100 million.
Yeah, but maybe it's a case of he doesn't want to go there, so they just thought, well, it's not going to happen. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe they have just rejected 130 million. I can't remember what the exact report was. I think it was like an inquiry or something, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it was an official bid. But there was something, you're right, there was something about 130 million from Plettenberg.
I'll tell you what it was exactly. Galatasaray were offered 130 million euros for Victor Osimhen via an intermediary acting for Al Hilal. The offer was made verbally. Galatasaray are not willing to negotiate at this stage and have no intention of entering talks.
Okay, because he doesn't want to leave. So they didn't reject 130 million, they're just saying he's not for sale.
Which is the same thing, really.
I guess. But maybe if he was for sale, maybe they would accept it.
Well, yeah, I guess so, if he was for sale. But he's clearly not for sale.
Yeah. So... yeah, I don't know exactly. The whole situation's very, very strange, but I don't think he's leaving Galatasaray.
Yeah. But anyway, that is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding all the news stories that we have brought you today. Have we got anyone lined up?
What are you doing the predicted lineup first?
Oh, I thought we would do it a bit later, but we can do it now.
No, let's do it now.
All right, let's do it. There we go. Predicted lineup for tomorrow. Spurs against Hoffenheim. Once again, this time at Hotspur Way. In goal, thinking Dubravka?
Yeah, Martin Dubravka. He'll be in goal. Can't... Sorry, 1 minute. Yep, he's our sub-keeper. He's our number 2. I know Vicario's still here, but it'll be Dubravka, won't it? Who was on the bench? Austin was on the bench today, wasn't he?
Yeah. So right back is an interesting one because Archie Gray played at right back. The only other fit right back is Pedro Porro. Is he going to start or are we going to see Ty Hall?
Yeah, Lily White-Rose was implying that no, because he's only had one training session, so he won't start. But maybe, you know, with the Premier League season 1 week away, maybe he could play 45 minutes. It's tough to say, but yeah, if not, it'll be Ty Hall, won't it? But he's not on here, is he?
No.
Ty Hall.
Yeah, so we could go Ty Hall at right back.
What number was he? I can't remember. Was it 49?
59, I think.
All right, Ty Hall. Where is he? There he is.
Ty Hall at right back. In terms of the centre backs, we saw.
Yeah, Danso and Davis in the bibs.
Yeah, so it'll be Danso and Davis.
Danso and Davis, right and left.
But it could be Ben Davies at left back. Unless Sousa comes in. Maybe Sousa comes straight
I think
in.
if it's not a doggy, it'll be Sousa.
Yeah, let's put Sousa in.
Because he played the other behind closed doors friendly.
So Sousa, so that's our back four, we think, going into the game. Ty Hall, Kevin Danso, Ben Davies and Sousa. In terms of the midfield, I think Rodrigo Bentancur is a dead cert for this one.
Mm-hmm.
So he comes into the midfield. Alongside Rodrigo Bentancur, it's going to be Mateus Fernandes.
I think it will be, because we saw him in the bibs.
That's going to be a bit of a tasty midfield.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see how they link up together. So it'll be those two. Obviously, a lot of people expecting Fernandes to start game week 1, so he's going to have to impress in this game. But yeah, it's interesting to think about if Bergvall did his chances well or not today to start in the first game. But yeah, Fernandes obviously expected. So he's obviously playing in this game though for a reason, isn't he? Is he completely fit? Who knows?
Yeah. With Rodrigo Bentancur, obviously it'll be the first time we're seeing him in pre-season. So looking forward to seeing that with his future. You know, a lot of people suggesting his future up in the air at this moment in time. In the number 10, I think it will be a start for James Maddison. So we'll put James Maddison in the 10. Be good to see him. Be the first time seeing him this pre-season. Could they announce the captaincy tomorrow?
They could. Could do it any day.
Yeah, they could do it any day.
I mean, I don't think just because we got a behind closed doors friendly, they're going to do it tomorrow. They could have done it today with the fans in the stadium, but they didn't. So I think they're probably going to wait till next week.
I remember when they announced Sonny as captain, it was like the eve of the season, wasn't it? It was like the night before the season started, and I think it might have been the same with Romero as well.
I think it was like in the week leading up to it, wasn't it? Yeah.
No, I think it was like the day before or something. The season started. So anyway, James Maddison in the 10. On the right hand side, are we going to see Mohamed Kudus?
I want to say yes. I'm not certain about it. I mean, you've got Sarr there as well. Are we going to play him on the right? Probably not. Yeah, I mean, let's go with Kudus, I guess. I mean, I hope so. I don't know if he's in full training or not. But, I mean, it would be amazing if he is.
Yeah, would love to see.
Well, I don't know if he's going to come off the bench or not.
Look, let's go for him. I think he will play some part tomorrow, whether it's coming off the bench or maybe starting the game and coming off early. He's not going to play the full game, that's for sure. But I think we will see him at a certain point in the game. But we'll go for him to start. On the left-hand side, I think we'll probably see Luca Williams-Barnett, I guess. There's no other real wingers that we have.
Yeah. Yep. Unless you want to put Sarr on the wing. He's not on here.
So I think he was number 58, was he? I think he was number 58, Luca, or 68 maybe.
68, yeah, sounds right.
So Luca Williams-Barnett out on the left-hand side, which brings us to the striker, but behind the striker, Kudus, Maddison, Luca Williams-Barnett. Then up front, it's got to be Dane Scarlett, not even on the bench today. So I think Dane Scarlett starts the game.
Obviously, it's either him or Solanke, but we don't know what's going on with Solanke. Didn't play the behind closed doors.
He has been training though, so maybe it will be Solanke.
I hope it is, because we need him as an option right now. We could really do with him. So let's go with. But then Lily White Rose said something about his knee. I don't know.
So what did Ali Gold said about Solanke? Brentford doubtful if he misses Hoffenheim. So no.
Just a bunch of bollocks.
Let's go for Solanke. It probably will be Dane Scarlett though.
Yeah, I do have a feeling it will be Dane. I also have a feeling it won't be Kudus. I also got a feeling actually that Sarr might start in the 10 and Maddison
comes on.
Yeah, I've got a feeling about that as well. But let's hope it is this.
Let's go for positivity. Let's
just put Decky in there as well.
So this is may as well put Porro in there as well.
Let's get Porro in there. Let's put it all in.
This is the lineup that we're predicting for the game against Hoffenheim tomorrow. In the last pre-season game before the start of the Premier League, we're going for Dubravka in goal, Ty Hall at right back, Souza at left back. We've got Danso and Ben Davies in the centre back positions, Bentancur, Mateus Fernandes in the double pivot with James Maddison in the 10, Mohamed Kudus out on the right, Luca Williams-Barnett on the left, and Dom Solanke up top. So that is the lineup that we are predicting tomorrow. Obviously, we are going to be back on here for another watch-long 12 o'clock kickoff behind closed doors friendly at Hotspur Way. So let us know what your thoughts are on the predicted lineup. Who do you think will play? Do you think it's likely to see James Maddison and Mohamed Kudus in the team tomorrow? Or are we just on cloud cuckoo land? Let us know. But that is what we're thinking about the predicted lineup. Let's get into some guests, people. Let's get into some guests. And who have we got on first? Who have we got on first?
You know who we've got on first.
Let's bring him on.
No prizes.
Mr. Brian Daigle, everyone. Brian, 3-0 win. How are you feeling, my friend?
First of all, big up to you, brothers. Big up to you and to Sammy and to everyone in the chat. Before we get into this, let me just in the words of Jay-Z, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Brian Daigle, and I am a Tottenham Hotspur fan that is very, very upbeat, that is very, very excited. And you know what? After 18 years of having ownership and board dedicate my life, I want to be the kid I was and enjoy what is going on the pitch. I want to enjoy being a Spurs fan again. And right now, like I have done all summer, I am genuinely excited. I feel rejuvenated. I feel passionate. Has my views on them changed? No, it will take a few positive windows. But instead of constantly looking up there, I want to look what goes on the grass, and I like what I see.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of today, how ready do you feel like we are for the new season based on what you saw today?
We'll get to the front line, but what I loved seeing today is we always talk about diamonds in midfield and that diamond formation. How nice was it to see a diamond of Kinski, Senesi, Van Hecke and Tonali? 4 players that are so comfortable on the ball, that look so calm and assured under pressure, that want to move the ball forward and actually have confidence when a back pass comes, or when it's in the... We played a few balls in the penalty area, and normally you're like, oh, here we go. Calm, assured, dealt with it. Patches of play were really, really good. You could see what the objective is. You could see what the game plan is. And you could see that the training, the pre-season, you can see what they're trying to do. And like I said, from today, I'm not going to take a single negative. Not going to take a single negative. Does the front line need to improve? Yes. Is there anything that I find negative to moan about on that performance? No.
But are we ready for the new season, Brian?
If we get the front line, you've got to remember what we did today is without Kudus, Maddison, Fernandes, Van der Ven, Porro. That's just 5 of them. Then Xavi to come back, obviously a long way. We don't know if Kulu is going to be the same player he was. But you add the calmness of that defending with Van Hecke and Senesi. Then you add Pedro Porro's ball playing and energy and everything. Then you add Robertson, who, after a couple of shaky games that I didn't see, that first half he put 4 or 5 quality crosses in. And obviously Richarlison got on the end of one and put it away really, really well. Then you add those players that I mentioned. Obviously there's a few that are injury concerns. But you put those players in there, and then obviously what may happen for the rest of the window ain't looking bad, is it?
Yeah, I mean, are you not concerned about how open we look at the back?
This is pre-season and they're going to do it. Like I said, I think hopefully Fernandes, I was just seeing your predicted lineup for tomorrow. Hopefully we see Fernandes. I didn't even mention Bentancur in that lot that I was just mentioning. The real game time kicks off on obviously next Saturday. It's now just get this game tomorrow out the way, then it's all systems Premier League. And yeah, we looked open, but last season it was always backwards, forwards, and as we know, I wanted Frank, and boy was I wrong. Boy was I an idiot. Boy did I go way OTT and everything else that goes with it. But do you know what? We want to see creativity. We want to see attacking football. And if you're going to play that style of football, you might make some passing mistakes. And then that's part and parcel of what we're going to expect. We wanted to see free-flowing Tottenham football, or whatever the DNA, whatever terminology you want to use. Well, when you do it, there's going to be some risks. I mean, Tonali in the midfield, his passing and speed of thought, and he is so composed. He is going to be such a huge player for us, and he's just going to be nothing but a joy to watch. He was all action, and I think he'll control games. Just like I said, Ben, we could have been open, and these are things. I'd rather we look open and make these mistakes in pre-season and learn from them and go onto the training ground and say, do you know what? We need to work on this. And you've got to remember, last season when De Zerbi came, he said he ain't going to change anything because you don't want to change too much when there's so much at stake. Well, now it's time to change.
Yeah.
We've had this pre-season to do it, and there's going to be a hiccup. But we all want attacking football. We all want to see it, and there's going to be a couple of loose passes here and there or whatever. How we react to it is what we've got to work on.
You know, you mentioned the forward line, right, and how it needs work. Everyone know it needs work, but the two strongest player on the pitch today were probably two players from the forward line in Mikey Moore and Matty's Tell. Let's talk about Mikey Moore, because 2 goals today, taken fantastically well. Do you want him to stick around, or do you think he still needs to go out on loan?
I think he still needs to go out on loan. This was his brightest game by far. He's been very quiet in other games. He took both the goals well. He was quiet at the beginning part of the first half, but he started growing into it second half, putting some crosses in. Again, there wasn't a forward there, or it didn't pass the first man. He looked a lot brighter. He took his goals very well. But just because he's done that in a pre-season game like that, he is not ready for me to be like, right, you're going to be Kudus's backup. I think he needs a loan. I've also said to you, Ben and Sim, this is just my thought and theory, that could be absolute nonsense. In fact, it probably is nonsense. The deal to Klon, or however you pronounce their name, I don't think he got stalled because of lack of options. I think that might have been stalled because a player we're going to try and bring in, the striker, let's just say, wherever it comes, Mikey Moore could be a make-weight. So he could be part of a deal that brings a striker in. And I think he needs that loan. He looked a lot brighter, but yeah, I still don't think he's ready for first team.
Wait, are you saying we're going to sell Mikey Moore, or
No, loan
out?
for the year. No, not sell. Loan.
To who? To see?
Mate, it's under wraps. Who knows? Who knows? I genuinely, honestly, I've said to you both personally and on the show as well, I genuinely believe Spurs are working on a big name striker that is probably so under wraps that only Mawson and another one knows. Whether it gets over the line...
Do you reckon Galatasaray could do with Mikey Moore for a season?
Galatasaray, Dortmund for Guirassy. We know what youngsters do at Dortmund. I honestly believe they've been working, and there's only a few people that know. Again, this could be me being absolutely...
They are looking for a winger. They're trying to sign Martinelli.
So who knows? But I think that maybe Mikey Moore is going to be like when we sold Berbatov and got the great Fraser Campbell on loan, but slightly improved. Please God be improved. But that's my thinking. Why? Again, it could be Klon in the next few days or weeks, but I wouldn't be surprised if we bring a striker and he's part of a package.
And talk to me about Matty's Tell as well, because he's been one of the best players that we've got, maybe the best player of pre-season so far, and proving it again today.
Today, 2 great assists. 2 great assists. Is he the starting left winger in the future? No. Backup, I'm fine if he stays. He's come in for a lot of slack. I've often spoken here that when we went to Wolves, Ben, his movement, I was always very impressed with. He still looks a little bit shaky trying to take his man on. But 2 very, very bright, clever assists. And he needs a left winger that he can learn off. What I think he lacks, and what Savinho will bring, is when Savinho gets the ball, he will genuinely scare the life out of the defender. And he will genuinely try to take him on over and over again, and he'll have full confidence in that. And I think that's what Tell is missing. That's the final decision making is what he's missing. Is he good enough to be our first choice left back? No. If he stays here and plays backup, am I absolutely fine with it? 100%.
And what about Rishi? Got another goal today, 3rd goal of pre-season. I mean, you talk about bringing in a striker, but there's no at the moment no movement on Solanke or Richarlison. Obviously, Rishi continues to bang in the goals. He was our top goal scorer last season. So where are you? What are you thinking on that?
Well, Solanke, it's just going to be who's going to trust his fitness. Who is going to trust his fitness?
Same with Rishi though as well.
No, but Richie last season, the one time where we needed him to stay fit, he did. And Spurs definitely aren't going to give him another contract. We all know that.
I think if he stays, he probably gets signed a year extension to see if we can get money for him next year.
Yeah, but you say that, Sim. Look what we did with Basuma.
Yeah, but Basuma was a different kettle of fish, I think.
I know, it's obviously a different player, but
I don't think we sign him in a year extension.
Yeah, I think those days, obviously, De Zerbi had the say on Basuma, and he was like, no, get him gone, and we listened to him. I think the same with Richarlison. You see what De Zerbi been saying this season. We don't know if he's going to go. It's yes, it's no. Why? I can't. He'll go for free. January he can speak to people. Would I like them both gone and 2 new strikers in? Of course I would. Do I think it's possible? No. No, but like
do
I
you
said,
see, do you see either of them leaving right now?
well, I can't see Solanke going. Although, literally, if Nottingham Forest put a bid in for him, I would literally offer to fly home and piggyback him to Nottingham whilst hopping on one leg to get the deal done, so we can get him off the books and bring in a goal scorer. And I can't see, unless Richie, a deal comes in that he wants, and he hasn't wanted to go to Saudi. Will Everton come in for him? Don't know. I think it would have to be a very, very tempting deal for Richie. Otherwise, he's going to say no, no, no. So I can't see either of them going, but that doesn't mean we don't bring a striker in. And we don't need...
It doesn't mean you don't want us to bring a striker in, but would it actually do you think the club would not consider getting a striker until one of them goes?
Well, it depends where they're going to play Cody. And is he going to be the left winger? Is he going to be the striker? Who knows? But like I said, I think once that window shuts, that front line looks very, very different.
Will Lancashire got 2 goals today, 3 goals.
Well, you know
in 2
what you
games.
and me think about him, Ben.
Yeah, I mean, was it a mistake to get rid of him?
No, I don't want to say it's a mistake. What I think Spurs have done very, very smartly this window with all the youngsters that have gone, there's clauses in it.
Yeah.
If he can show that he does well in the Championship, and you would think Middlesbrough should always...
But could he have been starting ahead of these 2 strikers that we have right now?
Well, we say that now with hindsight, Ben.
Yeah.
Let's review that when the window shuts.
Yeah.
Let's review that when the window shuts. In hindsight, right now, yeah, of course. But let's see when the window shuts.
How many are we bringing in from now to the end of the window?
I think 3 come in. Whether that is left winger, right winger, striker, or whatever, I think 3 come in. There'll be a few more exits. And talking of exits quickly, and all this talk, I'm probably going to be alone here and probably get pelters for it. I've got no drama whatsoever if Spurs don't bring another right back in and have Archie Gray at right back until January or the summer.
But does that not mean that we've weakened in a position from last season?
Well, take Spence out of the equation because he never plays right back anyway.
Yeah, but now we've got more cover at left back. He would have been.
Yeah, but that's the thing. De Zerbi didn't play him there. De Zerbi, no one's played him at right back. Archie Gray did play right back for Leeds and got into Championship Team of the Season or Young Team of the Season. Right now, for me, everything focuses on Spurs sorting out the front line. So if Spurs have to have Archie Gray give him not first team football, but minutes at right back, and I don't think he's looked bad at right back at all. And De Zerbi making him captain ahead of Robertson and other players on that pitch speaks volumes. Not saying he's going to be a captain or should be captain, but for me, everything's not going to get done in one window.
It's true, but if we knew that Spence was going, do you not think that we should have put a bit of better planning into getting cover at right back?
Spurs and better planning is something that doesn't go synonymous and hand in hand. Are they trying to show that is on the change? I think so, and as I've been saying on other shows, Spurs, ENIC and Spurs can't have a second, third, fourth, fifth, etc., great window without having the first. And we've seen people talking about that, oh, look, our spend is almost the same as what we brought in. We haven't spent money. Well, this time we've brought in quality. Not your youngsters or cheap crap and alternates. De Zerbi has got every man that he wanted. And hopefully that continues throughout the window. So selling players has been a big difference this summer. Been prepared to take the hits on players. People like Romero and Spence, where we know their attitudes could run rife. They've gone now. They're part of Spurs' past, and everything's building towards Spurs' future. So if we don't get everything done right now, I was speaking to you yesterday, Ben, and I said, what's the date today now? August the 15th. Sim, I'll ask you, okay? After the Everton game, so straight after, I mean, take away the transfer fees. You don't know any of the transfer fees of anything. If I gave you pound for pound what we've done incoming and outgoing, up until today's date, with 2 weeks left, just over 2 weeks left of the window, would you have taken this window?
Yeah, for sure.
Same here. Same here.
So, you would have bitten your hand off for it.
Mate, first of all, I just said, are you okay? And had a bang to the head. But I would have taken this window. If I didn't know the fees or whatever, I would have taken this window in an absolute heartbeat.
Yeah, 100%.
So we've got, how long now? Tuesday, so about 16, 17 days of this window left. There is work to be done. And do I think, like I said, once that window shuts, that front line will have a lot more potency, will have a lot more quality. And if the answer is yes, but also I was going to say, if De Zerbi wants Cody and Savinho, then I'm prepared to wait. He has said that he wants these players. If he sees these players as key, vital components to what he's building, after what we saw today with the passing and the assurances from the four that I mentioned in Kinski, Senesi, Van Hecker and Tonali, then you add the players that will walk into this first team when they're fit and ready. You add those two. If De Zerbi's saying they are integral, then I'm prepared to wait. I'd rather we get the man he wants than do what we've done before and go and not get the right players. So I am genuinely excited for what we're about to witness. And I'm looking forward to being a Spurs fan that just craves watching Spurs and consuming all I can with Spurs on the pitch, rather than spending my life about what's going off the pitch.
Quick prediction, Brian. What is our front three next week against Brentford? Who do you think starts? You can add in new signings.
Make it the front four with the number 10 as well.
Yeah, and the number 10.
Oh, we're going to go mad. Osimhen, Silvinho, Gatko, Cody, and Morgan Gibbs-White. I'm joking. I think Silvinho will be here before Brentford. Finally. And Retweetio Romano can find another player to speak about non-stop. I think Cody's here before the end of the window. And the striker, just please God, let it be an absolute machine. An absolute, literally the 20-plus goal scorers we need. But I think before Brentford, it might be, depending on if Kudus plays tomorrow, Savinho, Kudus, Richarlison.
And also, with a week to go left of the until the new season, where are we going to finish next season?
I've said this, and I'm going to stand where I stand, because I still think the other teams around us, or say around us, the teams that we normally compete against, I think they're going to flex their muscles big time over the coming days. I'm going to say top 7 in the FA Cup.
Top 7.
I said I'm going to be positive and carried away, or not. I'm going to be really enthusiastic by what's going on the pitch, but I'm not good. We need to hold our own, and just, I don't think we're going to have any concerns about being anywhere near the bottom at any point in the season. Just get back competing for the European positions and win a goddamn cup, especially the FA Cup, which I'll keep saying every single year when you ask me this question until we bloody win it.
This is the year, Brian. This is the year.
Mate, every year is the year. I try and find a reason. Like when Terry Venables died, I was like, we're going to win it this year. We're going to win it this year in honour of him. And then we went out very, very early. But top 7, FA Cup.
Don't worry, Brian. We're not too far off the year ending in 1.
That's what we'll do, yeah. We'll start some, that's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. But yeah, so let's just hope for... Obviously, I think we could get higher, but I'm not going to go in saying, oh, we're going to go top 4 or whatever, because I do believe the other teams will strengthen. But all that matters is we get our front 3 sorted and we get ready to enjoy watching Tottenham again. And I enjoyed what I saw today.
Big up, Brian. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Much love to you both and everyone in the chat.
We'll see
Speak
you
to you
and
soon.
speak to
Come
you
on, you
very,
Spurs.
very soon.
Come on, you
Come on.
Spurs.
Come on. Big up to Mr. Daigle. Thank you very much for coming on. Next up is Ardy. How you doing, Ardy?
Can you hear me, guys?
Yes, can hear you
Yeah.
loud and clear, mate. How are you?
Fantastic. I'm very good, thank you. Good to be on the show. First time calling in, definitely not first time watching. It's been a very, very long time. I mean, I remember being here in COVID when it was still called Good Morning Tottenham, and I remember when Good Morning Tottenham was actually in the morning. So that was
That's a long time ago. It's a long time ago.
Yeah,
Arnie.
exactly.
Where are you calling
Yeah.
from?
I don't think I'm that far from where you guys are, because you guys said you were nearish Boreham Woods ground. I'm in Stanmore.
Ah, okay.
not-
So UK.
Yeah, not too far. But I basically just kind of am calling in because I've kind of lost it with some of the narrative going on around our transfer window. I think it's getting quite ridiculous. Some of the, well, I'm happy to talk about the game. I think we should probably talk a little bit about certain parts of the game because it feeds quite nicely. But just in terms of like where we're at with the squad and who we're intending on keeping and who we're not intending on keeping and where we value players.
Well, tell
I
us
guess-
what's frustrating you about the narrative. What narrative do you not like?
I just think that like when we're discussing like who we want to bring in, there's one narrative that's like, oh, okay, we got to get in these guys. There's 2 guys obviously that we're going to talk about, but we got to get in these guys because they're better than what we've got, and you know anybody who's better than what we've got to bring in. We've got to pay the money. You know what I mean? Especially one of it. We'll talk about it in a second. And then there's that narrative, and then there's also the narrative going on that we want to be competitive. We want to be at the top of the league. We're spending the big bucks. We're going to be challenging in 1 or 2 years. We're going to be challenging right at the top of European football. And I understand that there's a narrative to back to Zerbi, and I'm delighted with what we've spent this time. I hope we continue to spend money. And I largely agree with the latter half of what I was saying, about like, so I do believe, right, we are on track to spend like £350 million gross.
Mm-hmm.
I know people will talk about net spend and like, because we've sold a lot of players, but at the end of the day, I don't think we've lost too many people. That's like a massive loss to the first team. I think we've lost, Spence was in the rotation. Romero was, everybody has their opinion on Romero. In my opinion, I don't think he was the most meaningful player by the end of his tenure. And other than that, it's mostly like youth players, bench players, reserve players, Solomon, Dragoshin, these sorts of things. So I don't think you can look too much at net spend because I think the sales kind of take care of themselves. But when you're looking at what you're bringing in terms of gross spend, if you're going to spend 350, 400 million pounds in a transfer window, you better have some ambitions on, competing for the Premier League sooner rather than later. I'm going to say it. I think you have to be targeting in players who you are going to be confident can reach that level within maximum the next 3 seasons. So when I look at the narrative around, especially Savinho, Gakpo to a lesser extent, I'm kind of warmed. When I look at the narrative around Savinho, if we pay 85 million for this guy, like, come on, man. No one can seriously put him in a bracket where he should be coming in. And I understand we finished 17th. I'm going to put that out there. That's going to be the first thing you're going to hit, probably. But you can't be signing Savinho, and to a lesser extent Gakpo. He's like, and Marmoush is on your target list. I think Marmoush is a pretty good player. I don't think he's like world elite star level. But you're going to bring in these players, and you're going to have a 350, 400 million pound transfer. And then you're going to bring in these players, and you're going to set expectations, somewhat rightly in my opinion, that sooner or later you're going to be challenged. But I think Savinho, at best, he's a development project. And I think Gakpo is what he is. I think if you play him on the left wing, he gets you about 8 goals a year, which is not bad. But, I think if you're starting from a clean slate and you're trying to challenge in 2 or 3 years, I don't know whether he's really the level you want to go for. And look, if we're playing him at centre forward, I'm worried for next season. If we're going to our plan is to play Gakpo at centre forward. So I was just wondering, what would your guys' opinion be on kind of either delaying or looking elsewhere in the transfer window? Because I just think at 85
so
million.
wait, Ardy, in terms of delaying, so you're happy to go forward this season with some of the forwards that we currently have, so that in the future we might have the chance of getting better forwards.
Yeah, let me just talk, because I was going to touch on the current squad as well. This is very good when we're talking about people like Tottenham Moore, right? And where do we see them, right? In my opinion, the problem with Moore is that we brought in Tell. I wouldn't have signed Tell for 35 million. I don't think he's at the level where you want to be investing, you know, £30 million plus on a player who's a very, very raw. But do we want to sign Savinho for, you know, we're talking about blockbuster money? I know that the transfer window is in place,
but what are all the alternative options, Ardy?
Well, first of all, I think that the Premier League focus is way too insane. Like, I know that Premier League is the best league in the world in 2026. I understand, but like, you know, someone like El Marla, can he really be like? I know he's got 13 Bundesliga goals. That's surely better than. I know that eye test and all that, and I know that Savinho's dribbling is very revered. I think personally, dribbling is a little bit of an. It's extremely hard to do as a footballer. Like, you have to be extremely talented to do it, but I think it's an overrated characteristic when it comes to winning football matches, in terms of like how important it is for a winger to actually provide end product. But it can't be that El Marla is going to come in and he's going to get, you know, one Premier League goal. Surely 13 Bundesliga goals is not better equivalent than like
but
one,
Ardy,
two Premier League goals.
at the same age, Savinho was getting 19 goal contributions in La Liga.
It's one season, and that one season was 3 years ago. You know what I mean? And you're paying 85 million to sign 85 million to sign him, whereas you're paying
it won't be 85 million pounds.
You're saying that, but you know, that's two reports from Brazil, two independent reports saying that it's 85 million. The fee was quoted in Brazilian currency. I'm not sure what the name of the currency is, but it was Brazilian currency. It's quoted it.
And also, El Marla's just one season as well.
Yeah, but first of all, it's cheaper, and it was last season. So what I'm trying to say is, right, if you're going to spend this massive outlay, right, because our transfer budget's not infinite, is it? It might be very big, but it's not infinite. We can't just go out and spend 90 million on attackers for fun, you know, every, you know, 6 months. And personally, I don't consider January to be a significant transfer window you do proper business in. So you get one summer a year, and we're going to invest all the stocks, 90 million on the left wing, on a player who's got two goals. You know, I don't think I can hang my hat on Savinho and Gakpo being our two signings. I would include Gakpo in this as well. I think he's, for me, a lot more proven than Savinho, but I would put Gakpo in a similar category. I don't think you can sign Savinho and Gakpo and spend 350, 400 million in a transfer window, and then in good conscience think you're going to finish fifth. And I think fifth has got to be the minimum you've got to aim to spend.
I think when you're talking about proven, I wanted Savinho alongside a proven player, so I'm getting what I want in terms of Savinho and Gakpo, because I think Gakpo is proven. But I think, in my opinion, Savinho is just as proven, you know, or probably more proven than El Marla. I think El Marla's had a very good season in the Bundesliga this year, but that's about it. If it's not El Marla, who else is it? Who's more proven that we can bring in right now?
If you want to go Premier League, you know, down for a couple of seasons, you can get Ndiaye for a lot cheaper than Savinho. I don't think Ndiaye's going to be 85 million. I don't think so.
I think he was about to go for 75 million to Saudi. I don't think they were going to be accepting much less than that.
I thought it was 70.
Well, 70, 75, whatever it is.
So hold on, you can't go 70, 75, 85. It's a significant difference. But okay, but I understand.
But I think that's what we're going to end up getting Savinho for, around that ballpark figure, around 70, 75.
Even 75 is overextended, and I think it's different when you're look. Of course, I would prefer people with more, like, a bigger resume, CV, whatever. But I think it's different when your good season was last season, because you might be able to carry it forward. Whereas if your good season was 3 seasons ago, it's, you know, more likely that maybe it was a fluke season, because you've got more updated evidence that maybe you can't hit those GA numbers regularly. Like, look, I understand that goal scoring is down across top 5 European leagues. I understand, like, both in terms of individuals and like just goals in general, and set pieces are the boat thing. I understand, but like, Are we seriously going to go into a season hanging our hat on our best goal scorer, probably getting 11, 12 goals? Really? Is that what we're going to do?
What was
I
Arsenal's
don't. I
top
don't
goal
think.
scorer
I don't
last
think you can.
season?
Gyökeres, what
Gyökeres.
about with 14?
Yeah, you could actually got like 14.
Exactly.
But-
Not exactly loads.
Yeah, but like, I think they want a better striker, don't they? They're linked with Osimhen. I think they're in and around the market. I don't think that they're
Apart
like
from Haaland,
they're about
like no
Alvarez,
one,
I
and
think-
Thiago. Apart from Haaland and Thiago, there weren't really players scoring lots of goals last
And-
season.
Look, and that's why I suggested the option of delay. But if you're not going to delay, then at least sign someone like a much cheaper fee. Like, how much is Mateta going to be last year of his contract? 28, for example. I'm not saying you have to sign Mateta. I'm putting it out there, right? But like, I can't imagine he'll be more than 30, 35 million. If I'm going to take a gamble, I'd rather take a gamble on someone a lot cheaper and save our funds for a later transfer window rather than buy into this pressure, understandably, from fans. We've got to sign someone. We've got to get someone through the door. It's absolutely necessary. We've got to make sure if we're going to spend £90 million on a player, he better be bloody decent.
But Ardi, I don't think we're bringing in Savinho because of what we've seen from him in terms of his output in the Premier League. We're bringing in Savinho because Roberto De Zerbi and the people at Spurs firmly believe that he's got the skill set what De Zerbi wants out of his wingers. And, De Zerbi clearly highly rates him, clearly wants him through the door, and clearly has a plan for him.
I think you have to apply modicum of reasoning, right? Surely. I mean, if you pay 85 million for Savinho, where if we want Krupi in January, where does that negotiation start? 150? I think would be equally as much of a rip-off, to be honest. Like, at least Krupi is a few years younger and has got.
But every negotiation with every
goal
club is completely
league.
different and completely separate. I don't think you could
I
say
think
like.
set precedents. I think Chelsea have been mugged since Todd Bowley because they've shown that they're willing to go absolutely, I'm just signing anyone at any price.
Krupi has a release clause in his contract next summer for 100 million.
Is that true? I don't know.
I think it is
okay,
true,
that's
yeah.
true. Then I don't know. Okay, fair enough. I mean, are we going to get him next summer for 100 million? Is a good point. But okay, fair enough. But I'm talking about in general. If you're willing to, basically bow, with the greatest will in the world, you can't argue if we get Savinho for 85 million or even 75 million. Let's say 75 million for classification's sake. You can't argue if you get in Savinho for 75 million that you haven't bowed. You have bowed to Man City. I mean, look, if you really rate the player, bow. But,
Yeah, but we bowed to Newcastle and West Ham. Are you happy with those deals?
Yeah, but we can't put. I know they're different positions, but we can't put Tonali and Savinho in the same category, can we? Like, Tonali is proven. He is one of the Premier League's best midfielders. He's in the top 7 or 8 best midfielders in the Premier League. So he is proven. Fernandes
You've got a
is
point. I think you do have a
proven more than
point.
Savinho.
I think 75
Sorry?
million, 70 million for Savinho is, a massive overpayment. I don't think anyone is saying.
Enormous. He should be 45, to be honest.
Yeah, I would say.
Even with
I said
inflation.
yesterday 50 million, 45 to 50 million sounds about right
50
for
tops.
Savinho.
Tops.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I finished my point from before when I was talking about Tell and Moore. You see Moore play today. He's effective and he's young. He's got some room to grow, right? Now Savinho is a different bracket of inexperience, but you're still buying him and you're making a bet on future business. I don't think you can hand on heart with good conscience buy Savinho and go, right, we're going to buy Savinho. He's going to hit the ground running this season. He's going to get 10 goals and 8 assists. I think if you're doing that, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. So
He got 8 assists in his first season at Man City.
So what's that GA over 2 seasons then? 8 plus 1.
Well,
plus
okay,
1
but
plus
GA's you're too focused on GA and everything has to be GA. I understand that's what we're lacking in the forward line, but
Someone has to get GA. Someone
I
has to get
understand
GA.
that. I understand that, but that's not why we're getting him. We're getting him because he's one of the best dribblers in the league, and he's one of the best creators. He's one of the best creators in the league.
Is he?
Yeah.
How many assists? What was his XA last year? I don't think his XA
Per 90, it's very good. He was out the team a lot, and for whatever reason. But Man City didn't want to let him go because they know what kind of player they got. Obviously, they've got top wingers, and he's not quite at the level of those. But he is one of the best creators, I think.
Let's make it clear. I don't think Savinho is the worst player in the world. I think he's actually bottom of the bottom. But if you're going to spend massive, near club record money, what would have been definitely club record money before this summer, and I don't think you can just bring somebody in under the tag of they could be great in the future and they're better than what we've got and they've shown some signs. That's all I'm trying to say in that department. And what I was going to say with Tellen Moore, so I didn't manage to finish that. Sorry. What I'm trying to say with that is, if my only option is Savinho at 75 million on the left wing, let's just give Moore some minutes and see how it goes. You know, I think worst comes to worst, there will be an equivalent deal to a Savinho deal next summer and an equivalent level of, in my personal opinion, rip-off. You know, there will be a very good player with potential that's not really 75 million at 75 million next summer. I don't think that kind of deal is running away from us. So I think this is a situation where you can play younger players in the system. I don't really want to do that. I want to sign someone more experienced. But if that's my only option, if it is, and he's the only one who's got the approving from the scouting team, recruitment team, blah, 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 but it's 90 million, or sorry, 18 million, whatever it is, right? If it's 75 plus, I think a responsible club has to walk from that deal. I really believe that. That's my opinion. Now, I think if you're being responsible, you have to walk from that deal. And it's better to give the youth at least 6, if not 12 more months to see what they can do under those conditions. And just bringing it onto like the overall point, if we don't sign, I think, 3 forwards, and one of them is not a recognised centre forward, and that's where the idea of opportunity cost comes into play. And if you spend 80 million on Savinho, what's your remaining budget? If we don't bring in an established centre forward, not Gakpo, who's a left winger that we're playing at centre, if we don't bring in an established centre forward, I don't see how we can't finish in. How we really realistically finish in 4th or 5th, which is what we should be targeting. And look, I'm not a hypocrite, right? When Chelsea were spending all of those billions with Bowley, and I don't think that their gross spends in each transfer window were that much radically bigger than what we're spending now. You know, I was one of those guys saying, yeah, they are failing, you know, finishing 6th. That's not good enough for Chelsea. I don't care if they finished 12th the season before. You can't spend that much money and finish 6th. It's a failure for a football club like Chelsea. And if we want to get into that bracket, we need to sign players who we can get in the Champions League with. That's got to be the main expectation for the upcoming season. And right now, I'm thinking more along the lines of 6th or 7th, which I would put down as disappointing with what we're spending right now. That's my opinion of the upcoming transfer window, or the current transfer window.
I genuinely think if we sign Gakpo and Savinho, I think we can finish in the Champions League spots. I don't see a reason why we can't. You've got to look at it in the context of everyone else as well. Like, not many settled teams in this current Premier League. You've got the teams that were above us that were first in Europe this season, like Bournemouth, Sunderland. I think Brighton are in Europe as well. Like, all these guys are going to have very testing and challenging seasons. I think we can finish in the Champions League spaces.
I think it's plausible, but I don't think we're anywhere near the favourites for it.
Favourites not, but we'll do it. Have some hope.
We got De Zerbi.
Just delusion. Everyone's favourite drug, delusion. Look. I understand that they paid more than 85 million for it, but when you look at somebody like, for example, Morgan Rogers when he went to Chelsea, and maybe we could have him over Chelsea. We don't know the specifics, but like that, he's also not classic left winger. He's more like a halfway between a winger and an attacking midfielder. But that's someone who can get regular contributions in the Premier League, put up good numbers over a 38-game season, and he has many, multiple. He has one top 4 finish on his CV, but like as a start, which I think that when you're looking at our competition, that's what Chelsea have done, and they're going to look at what we're going to do in that area. Don't know. It's a bit. I think it's a bit underwhelming. I think we can push for the top 5. If we're not in a top 5 race, then considering how much money we've spent and the fact that De Zerbi pushed for a lot of these targets, he's actually got to come into some serious flack. If we're not in a top 5 race, then he's got to be under big pressure. We should get into the Europa League at least. And that should always be the minimum expectation at Tottenham, is to get into the Europa League. I don't consider Conference League serious European football, but we should get into the Europa League. But with the amount of money we're spending, this is a golden chance to get into the Champions League. It's a golden chance, like because of exactly the reason you said, mate. Like, everybody apart from Arsenal's got a new manager. You don't really know what's going on. They've all got pretty obvious weaknesses. But I think other than maybe Man United, I don't really fancy us over any of them, which I think is a little. I understand. Again, obviously we finished 17th. We're coming from a way back. But I think it is a bit of a damning indictment on the fact that these forwards are not particularly looking that attractive and don't have enough of a CV, in my opinion, to come in and put us amongst that level of team. I think if all you're expecting is 7th in a cup run, you'll be happy with this season. And maybe it's me being greedy after finishing 17th twice to think that I should be expecting anything more than that. But when generally, we used to be the team with Pochettino. I remember it all the time. We were finishing second and third, and the media were neglecting us, and they were saying all our best players should leave, and the manager Pochettino should leave because we weren't the top spenders, and it wasn't sustainable, and we shouldn't have the expectations to finish in the top positions. And that Man United were doing much worse, but they should have the top expectations. They should have the best budget. They should get Pochettino and Kane, all these people, and they should be the ones winning. So now that we are the team with the big budget, I think we should place expectations on ourselves. And I don't think that being better than Tell, all due respect to him, or being better than Richarlison should be a passing criteria for Tottenham to go and spend £80 million. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, but what about someone who is ranked as one of the best dribblers in the league? And in terms of what chances created per 90, he's one of the best. Is that not...
But Sim, are you confident we sign Savinho? Are you confident that he'll make a top 5 position in the Premier League level attacking contribution in terms of like goals? I know you're saying I'm too focused on goals and assists, but can he for a left winger, can he get enough goals and assists to be, he's not embarrassing himself playing for a top 5 team, and you're very, very confident about 95% plus.
I'm sorry, I'm confused about the question. How many goals and assists do I need to expect from him?
Are you 95% plus confident that Savinho will get a goals and assists tally that isn't embarrassing for a top 5 in the Premier League level win?
I don't know about that. I'm 95% certain that Savinho is exactly the kind of winger.
I'm 95% certain Morgan Rogers will. That's my point. I'm 95% certain Morgan Rogers.
Okay, but I'm 95% certain that Savinho would add exactly what we need to the team, and having him and Kudus on either wing is exactly the kind of threat that makes our team so much more dangerous, which makes our team a lot more harder to handle. It's going to open up spaces for other players, and he's going to get a bunch of assists as well because he's a brilliant crosser and a brilliant dribbler. So that's all we need. We don't need him to get 20 goals. Like, that's not what we're buying him for. We're buying him for what he can do, what we know he can do.
This logic only works if you get in a top centre forward, in my opinion. If we get in a top centre forward, I still think...
I agree, but look, I understand that. I think we all want Osimhen. We all want a top striker. We all want people who will perform better than Solanke and Richarlison, or be more available than Solanke and Richarlison. I agree with that. So we all want that top number 9. But also, you also got to admit that Richarlison and Solanke have had basically no service for the last 3 years and have been feeding off absolute scraps with no... And if you get Kudus and Savinho getting crosses into them, are you not convinced they can score more goals than they have been?
I think Richarlison and Solanke don't get good chances and opportunities because I think partially the service, most they're just not very good strikers. You don't get into the right spaces and don't have the right, basically... what's the word, vision and like their positioning skills and their ability to create space for themselves. I think top centre forwards do create space for themselves to have good opportunities. I think Richarlison, if you're asking me, I think Richarlison and Solanke. I'd sell the one that we get a good offer. I'm not particularly bothered which one stays. If I have a vague preference, I'd sell Richarlison because he's in the last year of his contract and Solanke's homegrown. But that's the only reason. I'm very happy to sell either. But first of all, I would also say that you've been saying, Sim, that like they'll both get 11 goals. They won't both get 11 goals. The one who starts regularly will get, 11, 12 goals. The other one will get 1 or 2, in my opinion, from the bench.
Well, they're both capable of it, is my point.
They're capable of 13, 14 max. That's max. They're having a great season.
Which last season would have put them probably in the top 5 scorers in the league.
I think it'll be about 6th or 7th or 8th. But okay. Also, I think probably you're going to see João Pedro score more goals because I think Chelsea will be a better side. I think you could see Wesley Šeško develop and score more goals. I think Gyökeres.
So all these players can score more goals apart from our strikers.
Yeah, I think João Pedro, Šeško, and Gyökeres much better players than Richarlison and Solanke.
I don't disagree with that.
I'm not saying we have to get Osimhen. I'd love Osimhen. I think if Osimhen comes, it's an instantaneous 10 out of 10 window. I would spend 100 million on Osimhen. I'd spend 150 million on Osimhen. I think he is that quality. But if we don't get him, that's fine. We don't have to get Osimhen. But we have to get in. I'd take Watkins. I think Watkins has got a good CV of getting, 14 plus, 14 at the bottom Premier League goals. And I think we need an established centre forward if we're going to focus the wingers on creativity. Also, I'm pretty sure in a Deserby system, isn't the striker meant to drop deep and the wingers are meant to get the goals? I think I've seen a few tactics people talk about that. It's meant to be the wingers coming from inside positions and the
Yeah,
striker
it's
meant to drop deep.
part of his move. Yeah, yeah.
In which case, you do want your wingers to be consistent goal scorers, right? That would not play into the Savinho argument. That would play more into the Gakpo argument,
De Zerbi's a very adjustable manager. He works very differently with whatever he's got. He's not like a set way of playing. He's a very revolutionary manager. Yeah, that's kind of how he plays, but he also sometimes plays with a box striker. He can change.
I'm not saying I'm going to be 100% mega eating out if we sign Savinho for 85 million. That's not what I'm saying. But I think if we want a good chance to finish in the top 5, we need to have probably 2 players in our team that we can rely on scoring a consistent number of goals. And I don't think I think Gakpo could be that maybe, and that's why I think it might be worth spending 60, 70 million on him. But I think Savinho we're being held to ransom, and I would rather either risk it on a player from a foreign league or delay and use our youngsters. And I think that would probably be the more beneficial move. It would be the move with more expected outcomes, less risk, because you're putting forward such a ton of money for Savinho. I'd rather I don't want to hear if we sign Savinho and he's okay, and the winger we really want comes up next summer. And I don't want to hear, we're broke, we don't have any money to go get him because
that won't happen. That won't happen. But
are you sure?
I'm sure it won't happen.
Okay.
Ardy, thank you so much for coming on today, mate. We'll see you next time.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers,
See you
Ardy.
next time.
Big up to Ardy. Next up, we are gonna go for David. How you doing, David?
I'm doing good, guys. How you doing?
Not bad. 3-0 win today. Premier League a week away. How you feeling? Are we ready?
I'm feeling positive. I don't want to be negative before the beginning of the season. I think that's kind of bad luck. But I think Tao had a good game. Tao had good 2 assists. And in this game, I could really see how De Zerbi wants his wingers to play. He really wants his wingers to take on their defenders. And I think we should sign Savinho, no matter the price, in my opinion.
So 85 million, you signing Savinho?
To be honest, just get the player in.
Yeah.
Care about the money later. I think Savinho could be a great addition, and I
bet you're
I
good
would
on
be
a night
happy.
out, mate. I want to go on a night out with you. Just buy the drinks. We'll care about what happens later.
Yeah, exactly. But I think let's just sign. Hopefully, we sign Savinho and Gakpo.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. And then let's try and sign like a proper number 9 striker next summer. I'm happy to keep Richarlison and Solanke as our main strikers. And I think with the amount of delivery and the amount of crosses that Savinho is going to be putting into the box, Richarlison should be getting between 10 and 14 goals. And if Solanke's fit, he should also be getting between 10 and 12 goals. And that's already that's already 20 goals for the team. And then if you get a few goals from Tao, a few goals from Savinho, a few goals from Kudus, a few goals from Gakpo, you're already up in the maybe 40s or 30s. So I think keeping Richarlison actually might be a good idea this summer, because he's good at heading the ball. He's good at being at the end of those crosses, and I think Savinho could put in a lot of deliveries, and that's one main problem that we had last season. We just didn't have the wingers. We didn't have those wingers who were putting in the crosses enough for Richarlison to get his head onto. So I think we're looking positive, in my opinion.
And people aren't even talking about Maddison when they're talking about goal contributions. Like, Maddison gets goals and he gets assists.
Yeah, exactly. With Maddison, I love Maddison. I think he's fully poised. I'm just worried about injuries, and I won't be surprised if he gets another injury this season. Knock wood, he doesn't. But to start the season, hopefully we get Savinho before the Brentford game. my ideal starting 11, if Kudus is fully fit, would be to have Savinho on the right, Tell on the left, Kudus in the number 10, and Richarlison as our number 9. And I think that's a good attacking line, in my
And
opinion.
with that attacking lineup, with that front four, where do you think is our kind of ceiling? Where can we finish this season?
Look, we have to be realistic. It's De Zerbi's first full season. We've had good signings. I will be happy if we get top 9, top 8.
Really, top 9, top 8.
I'll be very like European football, because with the amount of how many more free spots there are, I think minimum Conference League football. We just need to get back into it, basically.
So if we finish the season in Conference League football this season, you're gonna be happy.
I'll be happy. Yeah, I think we can't be too over realistic, just too like daydreaming. Like, I would be very happy with Europa League football. I think that would be an amazing season. We finish 7th, we get a Europa League football. I think that would be exceptional. But I can still, yeah. I think this will be an interesting season. To be honest, I never enjoy predicting where we will end. I'm not that kind of person. But I'll be happy with Conference League football, minimum. That's like my minimum. If we go below that, I think that something's gone wrong.
I'm looking more at like Europa League minimum.
Yeah.
I'd be disappointed. I really would. I'd be disappointed this season if we finish in the Conference League. And I know, people might say I'm deluded. We finished 17th twice in the last 2 years, but I'm looking at the team, and I think we've got a very good team up until the forward line. And I think with Gakpo and Savinho, I think that dramatically improves it.
As Tottenham fans, we should always be disappointed if we're in Conference League.
Exactly.
Whatever happens,
Yeah.
we should be.
Like, I fully agree with you guys. I think we should be disappointed if we get Conference League football. I think we should be fully aiming for Europa League football, and if we can, Champions League football. Because you don't. A lot of teams are in kind of a transition period with a lot of managers. But personally, as a Spurs fan, I don't like to be too optimistic, because if I'm too optimistic, I'm easily disappointed.
Are you not numb from that pain yet? Are you not numb from the over?
No, I think unfortunately I will forever have the Spurs PTSD. Unfortunately, it'll be forever in my veins. Yeah, but I think after this preseason game, I'm excited. Tonali was exceptional. I think he's going to be a massive part of De Zerbi's like tactics and how he play. The way he created that cross for Robertson and for the first goal, the way he just glided past the player, then just glided upfield, laid it off to Robertson, and then Robertson first time crossed it in. I think that was a beautiful team goal. Tell, can't say more. A quick question with more. Is his like loan finalized? Or is it still
No, nothing's finalised. Yeah, I believe they're just waiting for players to come in, and then they'll sanction the loan.
Because I think we should keep him. If we don't get if our transfer season doesn't go well and we don't get let's say a Gakpo, I think we only get Savinho. We should keep him, in my opinion.
Maybe if we only bring in one, maybe we might have to keep him.
Yeah, that's what I want to see, because I think he could improve if he has another season.
Yeah.
And what about Bergvall today? Just a quick word on him. Like, do you think, because there's a lot of rumours of him leaving, did you feel like he proved today he's worth keeping around?
I think he's definitely worth keeping around. He's an exceptional player with a bright ceiling. I think De Zerbi needs to refine Bergvall.
Mm-hmm.
But I like to see the double pivot of Tonali and Bergvall. I think they could really work well together. And that's what I love about this season. We've got so many good midfielders that we can just rotate them around, and I think they could all work perfectly together. Because not all of them are different kind of characters, but they all bring something different to the team, in my opinion.
So, if I give you if I ask you to make a prediction, how many players do you think we'll bring in from now until the end of the window?
Wait, when does the transfer
I think it's
market
just
close?
1st of September.
3.
3. So you're going for 2 wingers and a striker, or do we need cover at right back?
I think we got hopefully Savinho and Gakpo, and then we bring in a left back / right back.
Okay. Let's hope it all works out, David. Thank you so much for
Hopefully.
coming on today, mate.
Have a good day, guys. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Next up is Amir. Bonjour.
Bonjour, lads. Bonjour. How are we doing? How are we doing in London town?
All good, mate. All good, mate. Sweltering heat here in this studio. How's it going out in France?
Oh, mate, stop it. Whatever it's over there, it's about 5-6 degrees hotter down here in the south of France. It's been ridiculous. We had 41, 42 the other day.
Jesus.
It's roasting. It's roasting.
Yeah. Is it as hot as Spurs' performance today, or was Spurs' performance today not so hot?
I think it was very, very handy, to be honest with you, lads. We saw a bit of quality from our young star boy, Mikey Moore. We saw Tell with a couple of beautiful assists, and Richie getting on the score sheet again, showing us that he's coming into this season feeling good.
Prue.
And Prue. He's on form. So I think there's a lot of positives to take from today. Actually, thought Tonali was top quality, and Lucas as well. He really impressed me with some of his dribbling, his turning on the ball, taking players out of play. So yeah, I think there's a lot of positives. You guys touched on a couple of the negatives there earlier in the show. I saw especially Sim with some of the defensive stuff, and there's still work to do for sure going into the season. But you've got to remember that this is still a team without a lot of first teamers.
Yeah.
It's without Mickey van der Ven. There's no Kudus in there. There's no Maddison. There's no Fernandez. These are all players that will be coming in. Maybe not right at the start of the season, but they'll slowly be coming back. So for me, there's a lot of positives to take, lads. How are you guys feeling about it?
Yeah, but I mean, with a week left until the first game against Brentford, do you feel we're ready to rock and roll?
Not fully, and that's to do with the lack of our, the bomber that we're waiting for, the big one, and to me, that's the kind of thing that I think we should be focused on. I think without bringing in a couple of top quality bombers of the highest order as well, I think is what's needed to really push us on. I heard talk there of Europa League being a success. Nah, lads, that's not success. For me, Europa League is not success. We've won the Europa League. We've been there, done that. Bilbao's been and gone with Ange. We need to be back in that Champions League, boys. That's where we need to be. So that for me should be the aim. Of course, winning a domestic cup as well. But we need to be aiming to be getting back in that Champions League. And to do that, we have to get bombers in. We have to get the players in. We can't rest on our laurels and, rely on what we've got. We have to bring in better than what we've got.
What do you think about what what was the caller 2 callers ago was saying? I can't remember. Ardy. What do you think about what he was saying, where he said if Savinho is going to cost, 75, 80 million, we need to walk away from that deal?
Yeah, I agree with him, Sim. Me and you have spoken over the last few months about it, and I'm not enamoured by the signing of Savinho. He's not someone that I think instantly makes our team that much better. For me, when I'm talking about bombers, I'm talking players like Osimhen. Those are the types of players. And if you want the ultimate bomber, which no one's addressed, Harry Kane has not signed a contract yet with Bayern.
Come on, bring Harry home.
Harry, bring him home, Ben. Just look at it. We are at a point now, guys, in the Premier League where Pep is gone. Man United are rebuilding under Carrick. Liverpool have a new manager, Areola. You've got Alonso, who's testing his feet in the Premier League for the first time. I do think he's a very good manager, and Chelsea have spent well. But you've got all these teams that are in some type of transition. Now is the time for Tottenham Hotspur to put all their chips in.
But it's safe to say that Spurs are in transition as well, particularly with so many players coming into the starting 11.
We are, but this season is an opportunity, Ben, and that's why I'm saying go and get Harry Kane. Bring him home. Give him whatever.
It's not realistic, Amir. It's not realistic.
I'm done with this realistic.
Harry Kane. Harry Kane's not going to come to Spurs not in the Champions League.
Why not? If we give him a guarantee that we're going to be getting back into that Champions League, that we set him up for life, that we put him on all the managers.
There is no guarantee. We can't give him that guarantee. He's smart enough to know we can't guarantee him we're going to be in Champions League.
He's believed Spurs' guarantees for too long.
I know, that's true. But look, at the end of the day, if you bring Harry Kane into this team with Tonali, with Kudus, with Fernandes, it's very different from the teams we had with him. I think
it's
we get
fantastic. I dream about it every night.
We get back to the Champions League. Lads, offer him everything he wants. Bring him home. Get the misses on the blower. Do everything you have to do to bring Harry Kane home. And if he says no, if you offer him the world and he says no, okay, at least you've tried. Then you go and get Osimhen. Then you go one level below. You go get Osimhen. You're not going to, outrageously improve this team by bringing in Savinho. I'm sorry, guys.
Okay, but Savinho's a winger, and the players that you spoke about are number 9. So if you're gonna bring in Savinho, who are you bringing in?
I would prefer a Gakpo over a Savinho.
We're going for both. We're getting both.
But I still think you haven't addressed the 9, which is the main issue. It's the main
but we're
issue.
talking about walking away from the Savinho deal.
Yeah, and I think if it's at 80 million, you walk away.
Yeah, but who do you get?
Then who do you get?
I would rather go and get a Gakpo and a Harry Kane or an Osimhen than bringing in Savinho. Savinho, for me, guys, he's a tricky little winger. He does a few nice dribbles, but he's not an elite level player. He's not going to straight away. He might not even be better than Tell. He might not get more goals than Tell this season, and people are humming and hawing about him. I think you have to aim higher. If you want to get this team into the Champions League, you have to be aiming much higher than Savinho and just hoping that this Brazilian wonder kid comes good.
So what if Harry Kane doesn't want to come right now? Osimhen's off the table. Then who'd you go for after that? Because I do think it's probably realistic to say that those two are probably not going to happen.
Okay, you look off the table. You have to go one tier below that. You're looking at people like Guirassy. You have to start looking at Premier League strikers. You have to start looking at Thiago's. You have to start looking at players like Mateta. You have to. But for me, again, you have to be aiming high. It's all well and good bringing in a Savinho, but does he really improve this team as much as people think he's going to come in and provide 10, 15 assists a season? I don't really see it, lads. And a lot of City fans, they're happy to let him go. And 80 million,
the club don't seem to be very happy to let him go.
I think Maresca will keep him. To be honest, I think he wants him around, Maresca, and I think he'll probably get quite a lot of minutes there. Whether he'll be a success or not is another story. I don't see him.
He said he can't get 10 assists. He got 8 assists in his first season for Man City. Last season he lacked minutes. Fine. In his first season, when he had a significant part to play, he got 8 assists. He's going to play more than that at Tottenham than he played in his first season.
But who's he assisting at City, Ben? Who's he assisting? He's assisting one of the best strikers in the world. Yeah, you stick Osimhen and Kane or these guys in there, of course he's going to get loads of assists. But if you stick him there with what we've got at the moment...
But he's still got to get it to him. He's still got to get it to him, though.
Well, he is dribbling past 2 players and getting the crossing. He's still doing that.
Yeah, I know. I don't see the hype, guys. I really don't see the hype behind Savinho. And I have a cousin who's a huge City fan, and he's one that he's happy to see him.
But I don't think it should be a case of that we should only bring in one winger and one attacker. It should be 2 wingers and an attacker. That's what it should be.
But it depends on the quality, right? If you give me a B-rated striker and 2 B-rated wingers, I would rather an A striker and then an A or B winger. I don't think I do think that we need to be looking at our youth and developing our youth a little bit as well. You know, you saw Mikey Moore have a really great performance today. Can he be someone that comes in, you know, in the Carabao Cup, in the League Cup and stuff like that? I think there's a place for him in the squad, to be honest with you. He's bulked up now. He's had some great experience up at Rangers. Why not develop our youth? We saw what happened with the likes of Harry Kane. Not saying he's going to go down that trajectory, but you know, give these kids a chance. You've got Luca Williams-Barnett, who's looked really, really good. You know, bring him into the squad as well. Get him playing with the players, the likes of Tonali.
Yeah, but aren't you contradicting yourself a bit? Like you're saying we need to aim this so high, but now you're saying actually let's bring in these youth players.
No, but youth players are for the squad. Those are two different things, Tim. I'm saying you've got to bring in 2 players to go straight into your first 11. On top of that, you need to be looking at the future and also developing youth as well. You know, it's not one or the other. It's both. And for me, you have to go out and get the Bombers. You cannot sit here and expect to do well in such a tough league without signing players that are better than what you already have. And we've done that so far this window. That's what we've done, right? We've gone and got Fernandes. We've gone and got Tonali. We've got Robertson, who brings a lot of experience and quality. We've got Senesi in. We've got Van Hecker in. We've done that. We've brought some great players in. The last little missing bit of the jigsaw is the attack. So be a bit bolder. Go out and push the boat out now and get you know, elite level players that are going to straight away improve. No questions asked. If I said to you guys, Osimhen's coming in to be our number 9, you know what he's going to do. If I told you I'm going to bring in that Mikatatse, will he succeed? Will he not? Questionable. I don't want questions. I want there to be certainty in what we're signing. And for me, if you want to challenge for those Champions League places, if you want to challenge for a domestic trophy, you need that elite level quality in the team. You have to have it. Bringing in a 22-year-old Brazilian wonder kid who plays, you know, half a season for Manchester City in a City team and gets 8 assists, it's not doing it for me, lads.
If we only bring in Savinho and Gakpo from now to the end of the window, that's it. That's our business. Where are we finishing?
Not enough. Not enough for me. I think, you know, you'll be looking at Europa League, Conference League, maybe even a little bit below that.
Really?
Yeah.
I think we can get Champions League.
What, with Savinho and Gakpo?
Yeah, I do.
I can't see it, Ben, because you've got number 9s there who you can't fully rely on. Richie with his injuries, Dom with his injuries, you don't have a real killer up front, and that's what you need. You know, the best teams in the Premier League. You know, you go all the way back. What have they all had in common? They all have killers up top. They all of them. You go back to your Uniteds with Rooney.
What about last season?
Last season was an anomaly. let's not even get into that PGMO.
It's all good going 20 years back. I'm here. What about last season?
Yeah, but look at the whole 20 years. Your Rooneys, your Van Nistelrooys, your Drogbas.
Didn't City
your
won the
Michael
league without
Owens.
a striker one year?
What's that?
City won the league without a striker 1 year after they sold Aguero.
Yeah, but City again, you know, the cheat code.
Another anomaly.
Yeah, there's 2 anomalies.
Didn't Liverpool have Roberto Firmino when they won the league? Was he a killer?
He was a killer. He was a great striker.
Yeah, how many goals was he scoring?
He wasn't a top goal scorer.
But he was an elite level player, bringing in
Yeah,
Salah.
he was a very good player, but
He was an elite level player, Firmino, guys. Come on, what are we doing here?
I'm not saying he was bad. I'm just saying you're saying you have to have a killer.
You have to have a killer up top. You have to have a killer up top.
He's not
You
a
have to
killer.
have an Osimhen. You have to have a Kane. You have to have someone who brings you 15, 20, 25.
That's to win the league, not to get top Champions League football.
But we're talking about the Premier League here, Ben. You know, the games are going to be tough, even against the sides that come up. They're going to be very tricky games. Your Villas, your Newcastles, your Crystal Palace, your Forest now with Glasner. Those are going to be tricky games. And
Look at Arsenal, for example. Before they had Gyökeres, they were playing Havertz, Gabriel Jesus, these kind of guys up front. Everyone know that they needed a top number 9 to come in. They were still consistently getting Champions League football.
And challenging for the league.
Yeah, but they also spent nearly £1 billion.
We're spending a lot. We've spent the
Wait.
midfield is sorted, the defense is sorted.
Yeah, but the attack isn't.
Yeah, and
The-
Arsenal's attack has never
Would you
been
not
sorted.
say,
either.
I mean, you're saying you're delighted with Fernandes and Tonali, right? Is Gakpo
Yeah.
and Savinho not similar to that level in the attack? Because if Tonali's a top 10 centre mid, isn't Gakpo a top 10 left winger? And if Fernandes is a young player who's had a couple of good seasons in his career at 21, isn't that similar to Savinho?
I
Who's
think
also had a
that
great season.
in different roles, it's very hard to judge that. I think Gakpo brings a lot more to our attack than a Savinho. I think his finishing is more elite, and he could provide more goals. I just want more, guys. I want more. Maybe I'm being greedy.
Greedy,
Maybe,
bro. Glutton.
maybe I'm being greedy. Maybe I'm dreaming. Maybe I'm delusional. I want the best for our club. And honestly, our supporters have suffered. I mean, what happened last season, going to the last game of the season, that was awful, guys. That was awful. And I never want to see that again. And I want to see us. Roberto De Zerbi knows it as well. We need to be challenging right up at the top of the league. And for us to be doing that, I really do think we need to sign elite level players up at the top. If you got me a Gakpo and a top striker in the realms of your Kanes, your Osimhen's, or just below that, your kind of Garassis, even someone like Igor Thiago, who got, 17, 18 goals last season. He's someone who I think would immediately improve our team. But that,
I don't
to
know
me,
about
that's
Igor Thiago, mate. Did you see him at the World Cup? In an
Yeah,
attacking
Brazil
team,
were
he looked
awful
awful.
though. You can't judge a player just off a World Cup. Like Spence had a great World Cup. Was he great for us? He wasn't amazing for us. I don't think you can judge off a few games in the World Cup. I thought he had a fantastic season last season for Brentford. If you're scoring that many goals for a Brentford side that don't create as much as we do, I think that's pretty handy. And I think he's a little bit better than a Mateta, for example. There's been a lot of calls to bring him in.
I prefer Mateta over Igor Thiago.
Really, I'm not sure. I think his touch is a bit shaky for me. But look, another option that we could look at, which I would be happy with, I would be delighted with if you gave me this kind of scenario. If you brought in a Gakpo, let's say, and you sign Krupi, even though he's injured, I think if you sign him now and you get him fit and you get him, back for December, January time, I think that. For me, he's not an elite level striker now, but I think he will become an elite level striker.
Based off what potential?
Based off what I've seen him do in the Premier League, based on his finishing, based on his composure, I think there's a real skill in there. Yeah, the eye test. The eye test. Listen, he really impressed. Look,
Also, the numbers he's pulled up.
Yeah, he's put out good numbers, to be fair.
He reminds me of Elise. When I saw Elise at Palace, I said, this guy's going straight to the very top of football, and look what he's doing. I think very similar. And he's also in that French under-21s, no? Or
Alongside Matisse Tell and Wilson Odobert.
Groupie. Yeah. Look, that's another reason we shouldn't sign another winger. We shouldn't go for two wingers. We need a winger and a striker. You've got Odobert coming back, who I think he really impressed just before his injury. And I think he could be a handy little player for us in the future as well, Wilson, personally. So for me, if you had to give me the shots, I would go get an elite level striker and one winger. And I wouldn't go for two wingers and then leave a big hole up top, where we've got two players, bless them, they try. Richie gives everything.
Well, one of them tries.
Let's not talk about him. Yeah, let's not do that. But Dom as well, just the injuries. We just don't know what's going on with him. He does score goals and he puts himself about, but can you rely on someone that's in and out, and then getting back to fitness and all that kind of stuff? It's very hard to rely on someone like that. That's why we need that elite level striker to be brought in. And if it was someone like Krupi and we had to wait a few months, then I think we can rely on Richie to get the goals for those few months until someone like that.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. We should have signed Krupi anyway, regardless of the injury.
Yeah,
100%.
I mean, that's what you do, right? You go for the best. You go for the best, and you have to also you have to strive. We have to strive for being better as a club. We have to strive. We've gone through so much over the last couple of seasons. It's been a real roller coaster from Bilbao and then 17th and then nearly the worst of the worst happened last season. So um, we really have to try and build some positive energy around the club and Roberto and the players we've brought in.
I want to hear that positive energy for Gakpo and Savinho, because they will be our
not
players.
for Savinho. You'll get it for Gakpo, Ben. I'm not convinced on Savinho. I'm just not.
You will be. You watch one game, you'll be.
Sim, you love him. I don't know what he's got on you.
Yeah, I watch him. I'm an eye test, bro. I watch him play, and I think he's quality.
Okay. Well, look, time will tell. Time will tell.
Amir, we've had these conversations in the past. I told you we're staying up. We stayed up. Told you about De Zerbi. Now you're fully in on De Zerbi. You know what I mean? So
I'm fully in.
And now you'll be fully in on Savinho soon.
Let's see. Look, I'm happy to be wrong. If it's wrong, and he comes in and he does great, and he's getting goals and assists, and he's providing for Richie, I'll be the first one to hold my hat up and say I was wrong. But look, I just think we need to put all the chips in this season. I think there's a huge opportunity to do something really big here. And De Zerbi is the guy. Like, he is the guy. We've been through so much crap with Frank and Tudor. We've got a real coach. We've got someone who's so passionate about football. You see him on the touchline. Like, it brings enthusiasm and energy. And I think there's a real opportunity to build something here with De Zerbi. And look, I'm loving the vibes between the players as well so far pre-season. I saw that clip of Pedro Porro get his little guard of honor there, coming back with his World Cup. Those are the things you want to see at Tottenham Hotspur. Those are the good vibes that you want to bring back.
And all the legends coming up for the dinner and stuff, eating with the current squad. De Zerbi knows what he's doing.
Wonderful, yeah. Wanyama coming back, what a legend, what a screamer he scored way back when, Victor.
Anfield, yeah.
Yeah, oh, what a goal that was. But so, yeah, we need to bring those good vibes back to the lane. The fans were unbelievable again today. We got kickoff next week. I can't believe it's come round so quick. And look, I'm here for it. I'm here for the ride. I think we're gonna have a good season. If we get those bombers, if they come in, I think we can potentially have a great season.
All right, big up, Amir. Thank you so much for coming on.
No worries, lads.
Nice
Take it easy. All the best,
Amir.
guys.
Big up to Amir. Let's move on. We have got Ross. How you doing, Ross? Do you have a good summer?
Oh, great. Yep, great summer. I just want to say three things. Tell me more.
Love it. Absolutely love it. So
yeah, that was fantastic.
Talk to me about them too. Are they ready to rock and roll for the season? You want to keep more?
I think I kind of would. I mean, I understand if he goes out on loan, and it may be better for him, and it's preseason, and the competition's not up there. But Hoffenheim finished fifth. I mean, they're no slouches. I mean, even you can say the Bundesliga isn't quite the league as good as the Premier League, but it's still a pretty competitive league. So I mean, we didn't go against slouches there. But if he gets loaned out, I understand. But if he stays around, I think it's great. And I'm just so happy for that guy. I mean, there's a player in there, and I've always known there's a player in there. It's just he needed somebody that's going to put the arm around him like De Zerbi and say, I believe in you, and a better system. And, yeah, he's just been on a tear this offseason. And also the incomings, Robbo. I mean, what a great cross he had there. I mean, you need guys like that. The guy's won everything. He's won Champions League. He's won domestic cups. He's won league championships. Why did we bring him in? Oh, he's old. Well, that's why, those crosses. I mean, the defensive thing's a little strange there, but I chalk some of that up to him being new and new system, new coach. He's been at Liverpool for 100 years, and, it's a new system, but that'll work itself out. Tonali, I mean, my God, that guy, we've been needing a guy like that for how long now? I mean, he is amazing. Again, why we pay $90 million or pounds or whatever? That's why, right there. We saw exactly why that we paid the money for that guy. So no, it was a great performance. It's good to see, coming into the new season that we're looking pretty sharp, and missing so many guys too. I mean, how many guys didn't play?
Yeah, a lot of players yet to play tomorrow in this behind closed doors friendly. But if you, based on what you saw today, if we play like that against Brentford, do you think we win the game?
I do, absolutely. I mean,
By the way,
we looked sharp.
Brentford beat Frankfurt 7-0 today.
Yeah, but also a lot of those goals came late in the game against guys that are probably be bagging groceries in a few weeks. But but no, I mean, it's preseason, and yes, that is impressive and all of that. But we'll see. The regular season's a different animal, but I feel pretty confident about that, even if we just kind of have to roll out who we have.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward, looking at the transfer window, Savinho and Gakpo, obviously the names on the list. Is that enough for you? Just Savinho and Gakpo from now until the end of the transfer window?
I'd like to see a little more. I mean, if that's it, that's fine. But my whole take on it is, if De Zerbi wants these guys and De Zerbi thinks these are the guys that are going to help us get there, I'm behind it. I'm for it. That's it. Money. I mean, we're actually spending money now. So it's not my money, it's not your money. So that's fine. So if they want, if De Zerbi has those guys picked out as the guys he wants, I'm fine with it. I'm totally fine with that. You got it, and you're going to take a chance. You never know. I mean, that's just part of the game.
Yeah, and if it is, like, where do you think we should be finishing next season?
I think a European place. I would be okay with a European place. I'd like us to shoot higher, obviously. Love it if we could, get back into the Champions League. That's the goal, I think, or obviously higher. But if we finish in a Europa or even a Conference League spot, I mean, that I think that's okay. Like as other people have said, we got to keep in mind it's going to be De Zerbi's first full season. There's going to still be some betting in to go on, but yeah, I think that would be fine if we finish in European place.
Where did Brighton finish in De Zerbi's first full season? Was it 7th?
6th, I think.
6th. We've got to be aiming higher.
Yeah, I think they were up there. Yeah.
We've got to be aiming higher than that. I think Spurs should be in the Europa League minimum next season.
I would agree with that.
I'm not having the Conference League. I'm not having it.
Well, it's another trophy we could win. We could look at it that way, and I think it'd be pretty easy to win. But I agree. Yeah, I think Europa League minimum. I mean, Conference League, okay, if that's how it shakes out, but.
Yeah, I think when it comes to this conversation, I think there are two different things going on here. A lot of people are saying, what do you want for next season? But then the other question is, what position do we have to finish until De Zerbi comes under pressure himself? I think those are two different things, because you could finish maybe 8th, but if you're seeing lots of green shoots, maybe people would be comfortable with it, wouldn't they? But like for you, how low down would we have to finish before De Zerbi comes under real scrutiny?
I'd say if we get down, I'd say outside the top 10 probably. If we end up 11th, 12th, somewhere like that, 13th, or even a little lower, hopefully not. But yeah, I would probably say then you kind of go, I don't know what's going on here. We may have to have some conversations.
Yeah, it's got to be below 9th, like a bottom half finish. If we finish in the bottom half, then he's got to come under scrutiny, especially with the players that he's got at his disposal. You look at we've got some top players now. Tonali, Fernandez. What do you think about Lucas Bergvall? Played again today. Were you happy with his performance today?
Oh, absolutely. He looked great today. I mean, I think he's staying, and I hope he stays. He looked fantastic today. I mean, he looked really bright. He was up for it. I was calling him Lucas de Jong a little bit. But I am part Swedish too, so I'm kind of partial towards him. But no, I think he looked great today.
Yeah, and what about the news or some sort of reports coming out saying now Spencer's gone, we might not be looking for a right back, and Archie Gray could fill that role as backup right back. Do you think that's the best way to go?
I mean, if that's how it ends up, I wouldn't be mad about it. I mean, the fact that he's put the armband on Archie speaks a lot, because there's a lot of guys on that pitch today that are vested guys, proven guys that could have easily gotten it. The fact that he chooses him, I think, speaks volumes to what he thinks of Archie and what he can bring forward. So I would be okay with that if that's how it shakes out. But it would be nice to have somebody in maybe a little more seasoned. Right.
Yeah. Ross, big up to you, mate. Thank you so much for coming on. Good to see you again. And I'm sure we'll see you a lot more over the season.
Absolutely. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Big up to you. Oh, not this jabroni.
Oh, here he is. He's got the shirt. He's come suited and booted. Come on.
So I actually just got a WhatsApp from KPV. He told me that Toby Alderweireld was signed from Southampton.
That's not what Brian tells me. Oh, no, it is what Brian told me, actually.
No, lies. Look at the picture, Ben. Go on WhatsApp, look at it.
Brian said it's fake.
No, that's not fake, Brian. It's
He said you AI'd it.
No, I didn't AI it. Someone, the person that posted it, I didn't post it because I shared the post.
Oh, okay.
The person, posted it on that year, 2015, we bought Toby from Atletico Madrid. Even Spurs' official Twitter account said, "We are delighted to announce the signing of Toby Alderweireld from Atletico Madrid until 2020." But he left in 2021, so we decided to give him one more season. And
we did some more business with Atletico, though. Cuti Romero's gone. You happy about that?
Yeah, nice touch and distance message from him. But Spence only put half on there. And Europa League winner, a European champion. So no one can talk to Spence, mate. Has anyone seen Arsenal win the European Cup? No, you haven't.
Damn right. Damn right.
We won one, boys, and they can't win because Saka has not won a European trophy yet. So PSG are the favourites. So viva la France, up the PSG. So yeah, and breaking news, everyone! I have renewed my Tottenham Hotspur membership, but my brother done. And I'm going to get a ticket for the Charlton game, but which one of you jabronis is going? Is it you, Ben?
Don't know, you have to wait and see.
Well...
It's whoever you see in the stadium, KP, that's who's going.
Come on, man. One of you... Well, both, you better be there, because I saw you at the Brentford game, remember? Because I've still watched that YouTube video. Matchday vlog after FIFA 22.
KPV made a live appearance in the vlog.
Yeah, I was with Paul Burbeck.
Yeah, and are you going to be with Ben Sims this time?
Ben Sims.
You might be with one of them, Ben or Sims, but not Ben Sims.
Well, Ben Sims, he's off for a couple of days, so I'm going to speak to Gamu. I'm going to speak to my other key worker, because I don't have one-to-one on a Wednesday, but because that game's on, I'm going to give basketball a miss on Tuesday, because I have one-to-one then, but I'm going to have to let my basketball coaches know that I won't be there on that Tuesday because I'm not missing a Tottenham game. I'm not missing
Absolutely not.
I'm
basketball can do one on Wednesday night.
Well, Tuesday I go basketball, but yeah,
but the game's on Wednesday.
I know, mate. My mate Daisy, she's going with her partner, and her partner paid £1,000 to become a season ticket holder.
Oh.
Lucky, mate. Daisy, yeah, she's a Spurs fan, and she's going to the game on the 26th. So
did you see the solar eclipse?
Nah, mate, I can't see it with these glasses.
Apparently you didn't miss much. Apparently it wasn't really a solar eclipse. It was just Gabriel's penalty still rising.
Now we're talking, people, because I've just heard that Gabriel's penalty ball has just flown outside the Bernabeu. So everyone check, because brilliant win today, and now we've got them again tomorrow.
Who was your man of the match today, KPV?
I think there's only one answer. Mikey Moore. Come on. He's gonna be cooking this season, and people need to watch out. He scored in the Europa League on our way to the final, and academy graduates. Where's the other two that scored on our way to the final? Where are the other two? Ajayi and wherever his name is, the other one.
I think Ajayi played in the behind closed doors friendly for us last week, and the other one was Dane Scarlett, wasn't it?
Yeah, Scarlett scored. So academy graduates scored. Yeah, all three of them. And I disagree with you, Benison. Bring Kane back. I don't care if we haven't got Champions League football. bring the dude back. Like, he even said it. He would love to come back.
I think Kane might disagree with you. That's the problem.
Nah, mate. You look what Bale did. After 7 years, he came back, and he left, and then he came back. So second spell hint, like they never say meet your heroes. Well, one of them came back and done pretty well, and
Which hero
Bale
did you
actually
meet?
done well. Huh?
Which hero did you meet?
Like, I've met some legends before. I met Dawson Lady King last season, innit? And
Come on.
in the South Milots, and I've got pictures. I've got a picture of them with them, and yeah, me and my key worker saw them. Like and I'm pretty sure I showed you the picture before when I met. Was it Graham Roberts in the Harlow Playhouse? Innit? Ozzy Ardiles on Twitter. You saw it, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, so I've met some Spurs legends, and great to see Dawson coming down to see the current Spurs squad to have dinner. Spurs legends, like, fantastic. Like, we need more of that. Like, Lady King should probably be on the channel again, because I know Sim spoke to him years ago about his Tottenham 11, saying Dawson was really not good as Toby. Nah, but I think Dawson's the one who started that. Out the pangs. We're not as good as Toby, but Dawson's the one who started that. Yeah, like Dawson started the pangs first, not Toby. Sorry, Toby, mate, but Dawson started that, and then Toby learned. So, yeah, like, brilliant win. Now another one tomorrow. Then bring on Brentford, and we're gonna win. Like, we don't lose away at Brentford. They've only beaten us once. That was at our ground when Kane scored that free kick, and we lost. But Brentford, I think we've beaten them at their ground already. So why not? Can beat Brentford, and now we don't have. Now we've got this squad. Who knows? We might.
Yeah.
Someone said on TalkSport we're gonna win the league. Like, I'd love it if
Are we going to
do.
win the league?
I hope so, and I can. I think we can. Like, I think we will. And Daisy even said it. I think we've got it this
Well, if
season.
Daisy
and
said it, it must be true.
she has, and she's a Spurs fan as well. So yeah, good for her. And
Sign her up, KPV. Sign her up.
I will, mate. Like, yeah, I'll get her to play in that Tottenham team, man. Just like we've got City soon, and
Tell
you've
me,
seen our
KPV, where's Barry, that fraud?
well, Barry. What? The one that said 7-0 against Brighton and we lost 1-0 when Eric died on a no-look pass.
That one.
You said
Yeah, that
7-0 Brighton. Well, Barry, where are you? You said I blocked you. You're taking the piss. I did not block, mate. I just haven't been on for a while. Every time you do a watch along, we don't lose. Like,
Every time Barry does a watch along, you're just busy.
like, mate, I'm just busy playing FIFA, mate. Cause, like, yeah, I'm busy every time playing FIFA, but yeah, it's all I do. Like, if Barry's on, like, I don't think Barry's done a watch along yet. So, who's doing a watch along for the game on Saturday? Next, Brentford. It's one of you two, I can guarantee it.
I think it's both of us.
You two, Jabroni. So, you two better be in that game against Charlton. Come on, because
Come on.
you've got to be there, because I got your message a couple of years ago when I went to the Champions League game against Frankfurt, and I know I got your message. You was asking where I was, but I was with Paul Burbeck for the Frankfurt game as well, and we I didn't get to see you again, but this time I ain't missing out, because I've seen you once, and you better be doing a career mode again, because it's beginning to get bored. Everyone, if you want me or Tottenham TV to do a career mode on the new AFC 27 before the next Tottenham game afterward, then give me a hell yeah, because I can and I will. And put me and Daisy up top against Newcastle, because I'll be in the dog's head watching it.
Yeah,
Fun.
I heard you got Romero in your
Ultimate team.
In your team. Yeah, ultimate team.
How do you know that? You ain't seen my account, mate, because my name's Kulisevsky.
Yeah,
That's
how'd you
my
know?
name.
I know these things.
Dickhead. Don't bring that up. But thank God Romero didn't do a jabroni scumbag because I don't have him in my ultimate team. Like everyone, Ben seems to think I was the one that had he shall not be named, but Ben's wrong. It weren't me because I
It
was
was you.
watching the video. I was watching that video, and it was someone else that had him because I've got the footage to prove it.
No,
And
you don't.
it was episode 46, and I watched it
Yeah,
like
but we played you off air.
23.
We weren't online. We weren't on you. We weren't streaming it.
That was when Sim was at your house, mate, and
It
I
wasn't Sim.
played
It was
you.
Daigle.
What? Daigle?
Daigle was at my house, not Sim.
I thought you. No, I'm pretty sure you. I played you both when you were streaming because I know you did. Because
Yeah, I'm talking about another time.
yeah, well, that was what before FC 24 came out. I played on FIFA 23, and you got lucky, and I still want my rematch, mate. So give me my rematch.
Lucky,
and
wasn't it 13-1?
No, I want my rematch, mate. Like you still haven't given me it, and I've still got FC 26. So
I don't
give me my
really
rematch.
play. I don't think we play FIFA anymore. I've played once in like the last 2 years.
Anyone want a game of FC 26 since this jabroni's too scared to lose? Anyone in the chat got Xbox? Feel free to have a game. But this jabroni here better get FC 27. I've already pre-ordered it. People, pre-order FC 27. I've already done it. So make sure to pre-order it. And jabronis in this studio better play me because I've got a birthday party coming up soon. So I'm
Michael
gonna be first.
Warmington in the chat wants to play you.
Who?
Michael Warmington.
Michael Warmington, you got Xbox, mate. What's your name on Xbox?
Get in the
What's
live
your
chat. Chat to him in the live chat.
I'll check in a sec, mate, because if I put my other phone on, it means I'm talking on both phones. I'm using this phone because
Michael
this phone
Warmington just messaged again saying, "I'll play you."
Oh, like it's Kulusevski, mate. If you're looking, it's the picture with us winning Europa League, and it's got if type in Kulusevski because that's my name, and you'll see it with the whole squad, the Europa League from Bilbao, mate. It's on. That's my picture. Like,
This is new We Are Tottenham TV matchmaking.
Oh, dickhead. Brilliant win, people, eh? And on to tomorrow, then bring on Saturday, and then the Saturday after that, and then
And then
other
after that,
games.
and then after that. Nice one,
Well,
Carl.
I'm out of here, people, and I've got day center Monday, and then I'm at work all day Friday. So, man, live at work, fam. Expressions. Big up Expressions, my guy. Get him on the channel, lad. I haven't seen
We'll
him.
work on it. We'll work on it.
Say hi to him for me when you see him. And Brian Daigle, it's not fake. So I don't know what you're taking a mick out, but it's not fake, pal. So big up, everyone. I'm going to go play some FC26 and try and pack some more icons. And I'll see you all. I'll see you two, hopefully, if you're both going to the game. But it's definitely going to be Ben at the Charlton game. I can feel it.
You can feel it, eh? Got a feeling.
WhatsApp. Ben better WhatsApp me because I'll try and call him at the game, but he's probably going to be busy. So, but hopefully I'll see you at the game, boys. If
Big
both
up,
you going to
KDB.
another game, Everton game. So I'll see you all at every home game. But I'm out of here, people, because Ben's got stuff to do. And as
Bye,
always,
Carl.
bye, mate. Come on, you Spurs. Enoch.
Because Ben's got stuff to do, not me. I don't have anything to do.
I've got stuff to do.
Okay. All right.
Big up to everyone, guys. That is the end of that. We'll be back tomorrow for the live watch along Tottenham against Hoffenheim. Game
Round
2.
two.
And that is the last of the pre-season games. So that's it. Next stop, Premier League football. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. What was this? Nearly 3-hour fan show. And we'll see you all tomorrow. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.